Hold on.
Yep.
Something. Actually, I'm on mute. Yo, 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 yo. We back at it again with a special episode of the Weekend Rhyme on a Wednesday. Maybe, maybe we call it the Weekend Rhyme or something like that. You on mute, Leroy. Let me take you off mute. What's
I'm
going
on.
on, Leroy? What's good with you, brother?
I'm good, man. It's just a weekday rhyme, I guess, man. You know what I mean? But I'm good, man. You know,
It's
soaking
the
in this
week.
music.
It's the weekend. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you tap in the mic check. Around the culture is currently on hiatus. Ronve is doing some things. So once Ronve gets out of his prior commitments, we'll resume that podcast. We do have the weekend rhyme on the weekend. And yeah, we rocking and rolling. So today we got a good show today, man. We want to make sure we cook up with you guys and talk about this J. Cole. J. Cole just dropped a song with Daylyt. It's a Daylyt record called A Plate Full of Collard Greens. And we want to give the reactions. What you think about the song, Leroy?
I thought the song was cool. You know, Daylyt. You know what I mean? He presents a certain element of lyricism when he steps to the table that I've been talking about since I got here. Those who know. J. Cole, he did his thing. People are having their reactions to it. My overall synopsis is this: a line that stood out to me was he said, "Spiritually malnourished, dehydrated. Now they fiend for the truth in these flows, food for the souls to make it all serene." So there is something that is greater than battling another black person for the throne. And I'm thinking Cole recognized that. There is stuff we can talk about that is greater than talking about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? There are other topics besides Drake and Kendrick Lamar. That's no shots. I'm not sending shots. I understand the game. I that those are not shots. I'm speaking in general, right? I think Cole recognizes that there are other things to talk about besides Drake. So I'm hoping when we get this album, and I'm gonna listen to it. Like I said, normally I'd be on to something else. Behind me, that's the cover of the Consequence debut album. He got a new album coming out. Don't quit your day job. Back in the day, we're gonna talk about fundamentals of sound and lyricism. But with Cole, I'm hoping he comes with some fire, man, and it got a real soulful beat. He had to go back and forth with Daylyt. Daylight's not an easy MC to get by lyrically, so he did his thing. So overall, I was happy with it. You know what I
No
mean?
doubt. No, Daylyt got off. So Daylyt got off. That he started the song off pretty dope. I thought he came across. I thought he started it out. I was like, oh man, he gonna get Cole on this joint. But Cole came through at the end. You know what I mean, and reminded people why we were anticipating the fall off. You had the feature run that he did back in 2003, 2002. He had a couple of features in 2001. He had a feature run that's unparalleled, right? So then it made people excited for the fall off. Then he dropped Might Delete later, and then the apology came at the Dreamville Fest, and that kind of deflated Cole a little bit because Cole was talking that talk. He was talking. He was one of those ones. He
Right.
was in that goat conversation, and then over the summer kind of got buried under the battle between Drake and Kendrick. Let them go mano a mano. He stepped back. He apologized. Said it wasn't in his heart to do that. So a lot of people said, I ain't really feeling all this goat talk from Cole, right? So this is refreshing. And if you look at his last feature runs, he did a song with ASAP. I thought that was cool. The song with Future and Metro, I thought that was a really strong verse. A record for the ladies. I thought that was dope. Then he did a song with Cash Cobain. I thought that was all right. So he's got some records, and this verse right here reminded me of why I was excited about the fall off, and it makes me excited. I know Trader Truth was on the Breakfast Club saying the Fall Off is going to be one of those albums, right? So I'm expecting great things, and I can hear it, and it just goes to show you that Cole, whether he's worked with Dirk, whether he's worked with 21 Savage, he's worked with Gotti, he's worked with Yo Gotti, he's done verses on a lot of people with Gucci. He's a very versatile MC. So seeing him work with Daylyt was dope, you know. And I'm excited. I'm getting excited again for the Fall Off. I'm getting the weather's changing. I don't know how it is in Cali. It's starting to get cool outside. The leaves are turning different colors. Football season is back. We outside. You know, the kids it's fall break. The holidays is coming.
Right.
And I'm getting excited for the Fall Off because I ain't got nothing else to be excited about, to be quite honest with you. And I ain't taking a shot at nobody. I'm just saying this makes me excited about something in our space, in this hip hop space. I'm really not excited about anything else.
Well, I am going to talk about some albums I am excited about today. You know, briefly, happy birthday, T.I. You know, his album Kill the King, Kiss the King. You know, T.I. is one of them ones. But we'll get to that and a few other people. But J. Cole, when you talk about the Fall Off and being the GOAT, if you ain't never fell off, how you the GOAT? You was just hot every time? That ain't real to me. You're not the GOAT unless you fell off before. That I want to see it get dark for you and how you respond to it getting dark. How do you respond when everybody says, you know, F you, they're not rocking with you? That's what makes you the GOAT. You know what I mean? There's people not rocking with you. People assuming that you supposed to make everybody happy. And this is shout out to Mike. This is a point that Mike brought up recently about just good music point. If you ain't never had a point where musically people was like, nah, and people was hating on you, then how you the GOAT? You ain't never been through nothing. Where's the tribulation? Where's the trial and tribulation? Let me see you. Hip hop right now, some of it or a big aspect of it is in a dark place, but that dark place is what's gonna produce the brighter light. You know what I mean? So I gotta see how you handle that dark place and come back from it. You know what I mean? So J. Cole, like I said, to me, I never tripped. Him not engaging in battle, I never tripped off that because I'm kind of the same way in sort of a sense where to battle somebody, it got to be real animosity there. If it's not real animosity, then I'm kind of just rhyming just to rhyme. But so I felt where he was coming from. But the people was like, nah, you got to just rhyme regardless if it's real or not real. But I'm anxious to see him come back. And like I said, come back from that dark space and come back stronger. You know what I mean? His last album was I thought was good. And I'm really not into J. Cole's albums like that. So for me to say his last album I thought was good, no, sorry. His album before his last album. It was something, you know, I'll have to pull it up, but I thought it was good. He had Boy Wonder doing production on there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't Might Delete Later. I think it was like something the season or whatever. But I thought
the off season.
I thought the off season was fire. You know what I mean? So I know you got it to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see how he responds, and I'm sure he's gonna have some fire. But you know, talking about legends and icons, I want to have some legend icon talk tonight. Rock Nation, I know y'all see me. I know you done heard my name in the building. I know my talking points done made its way across somebody's desk. You know what I mean? So I want to talk that talk, legend talk, icon talk. Let's get into it, man. You know what I mean?
All right, so we talking about Cole tonight. We talking about his feature run. I wanted to do something that I normally don't do. I'm gonna hit y'all with a top 5, my top 5 J. Cole features. Now, this is my top 5. This may not be your top 5, and y'all might have different opinions in the comment section, but this is my top 5 J. Cole features. So number 5 is a tie. I'm gonna go with a lot. I mean, a lot videos is a slept on video. Some can argue it's a top 25, top 50 hip hop video of all time, but J. Cole's verse on a lot is a hard verse. I mean, let's not Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, this is one of
No, I remember that.
this combination with 21, and this shows you the versatility of Cole, right?
Yep.
Cole, like I said, Cole can do songs with Gotti, Cole can do songs with Gucci, Cole can do songs with Dirk, and this shows the versatility of Cole, and he's spitting on that verse. So that's number 5. Number 5 also, I'm gonna say a verse where he's calling out the dope rappers, the fake dope rappers, the fake gangster rappers, rhyming against Griselda's own Benny the Butcher, Johnny P's Caddy. That's number 5. It's a tie between A Lot and Johnny P's Caddy. Number four, J. Cole feature, According to Ron. Now, maybe not according to you, but according to me.
Right.
According to me, number 4 is a slept-on classic called Looking for Trouble from the Good Friday series of Kanye West. You got Pusha T on this record. You got Saha the Prince on this record. You got Ye on the record. And you got Big Sean on the record. Now, Big Sean goes before Cole, and you think that, he killed it. He kind of double timed his flow a little bit, picked up the pace a little bit. You're like, man, damn, Sean about to kill this joint. But nah, Cole comes with a very aggressive verse. He's putting his plant in the ground, saying, yo, I know Kanye's on this record. I know Saha's on this record. I know Pusha's on this record. I know Sean's on this joint, but I'm Cole. And this is back in what year was this? This is early in Cole's career. And Cole's talking that talk. Very aggressive verse. So that's number 4. That's number 4 for me. Number 3, y'all gonna roast me on this one. And I don't care. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
No, I don't.
I don't care.
No,
Number 3, The Secret Recipe with Yachty. Another guy that he worked with. You wouldn't think this would be a good combination, but this is one of my favorite J. Cole features, The Recipe. And if you haven't heard this record because you don't listen to Yachty records, you're doing yourself a disservice. This record was dope. Cole got off on it, and it's one of my favorite features. So that's number 3 for me. Number 2. Now, we all get on Drake for switching, for code switching, for, changing his voice, changing his flow, his syncopation.
Yep.
This song, London with Bia, I mean, to me, this is one of the hardest Cole verses because he's switching up his vocals a little bit. He's sounding like that UK grime style a little bit. He's rapping like them, and it just shows his versatility as an MC. He's able to adapt to anything. And the beat is hard too. And then Bia got off as well. So London, that's number 2. And again, y'all might think I'm bugging. Y'all might think I'm tripping. I might have left something out, but this is the top 5 J. Cole features according to Ron. All right. Number one. Y'all ready for number 1? I got to keep it a buck, man. I got to keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
I got to keep it a buck. I mean, this dude killed this record, man.
Yep.
Number one record, first person shooter with Drake. It is what it is. He's talking that talk. Who's the big 3? Is K. Aubrey or me? I mean, this is real talk, man. This is his verse. He killed Drake on it. Let's keep it real. And to me, if you wanna add all the beef records, if you want to count this as a beef record, if you want to add them all up, you want to take Control. You want not Control, but the song with Metro and Future. You know what I'm saying? Like That. You want to take Like That. You want to take Euphoria. You want to take 616 in LA. You want to take Not Like Us. You want to take Meet the Grams. You want to take Family Matters. You want to take Drop and Give Me 50 Push-Ups. You want to take the song with Tupac. If you want to put first person shooter in the diss category, J. Cole had the best verse of them all. This verse on first person shooter is the best in the whole series, even 7 Minute Drill. So yeah, that's my 5 Cole features. A Lot, a Lot. Johnny P's Caddy, Looking for Trouble.
Yeah,
you got The Secret Recipe. You got number 2 is London, and then you got first person shooter is number 1. What do you think of my list, Leroy?
I'm not mad at your list. I can see how you do that. Off the top of my head, first I thought of Evil Ways with Drake. I thought that was fire. I thought of A Star Is Born. I thought of you know, I thought of a few records, but again, you know, I don't follow J. Cole as closely as everybody else, even though I do follow him. I'm just saying not as closely as everybody else. But I'm not mad at the list. You know, I think there's an approach that J. Cole has, and today I'm going to talk about arguably a top 10, top 12 MC that's very humble. And I don't got there's no issue with being humble, because as a songwriter, you know, you're writing from a perspective, and a lot of times you're using your real life. So you're not in a place where you're bragging about something, because you're going to use a life experience, right? Nas, you know, he's not a very flamboyant guy, but he's still Nas, you know what I mean? So J. Cole, and you know, so I'm gonna talk about humble versus Hove. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to assume a Hove position. When I say Hove, I mean Jay-Z, right? And I mean an approach to a record. And when I say Hove, I know people are going to be like, he's not God. People, nobody thinks Jay-Z is actually God. We think Hove is a nickname for somebody who feels he's he's greatness personified. So that's all it is. But when he approaches a record, he approaches it with a certain power and a certain leadership, a certain confidence that you can feel coming off the record, right? So I think Cole, it's time that he step into those type of shoes. Again, nothing wrong with being humble, my brother. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But sometimes you have to really go out there and slam on your position lyrically and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm calling, you know, humble versus Hove. But I'm not mad at your picks at all, man. You know what I mean? I could see. Shout out to Bia for being encouraging to up and coming artists, and I want to shout out Beanie Siegel right now for doing the same thing behind the scenes. I mean, so and I'm sure Cole is the same way. But I just want to hear him step into the shoes of like, look, I'm no longer just the guy from Fayetteville or, you know, in Vietnam, or, you know, I'm Cole. I'm one of them ones. I'm one of the greatest of this era. You have to assume that and step into it the same way you did on the Benny verse. You know, the same way you did on the Bia verse. You got to assume that and take that for a whole album and stand on that. And then
yeah. You're right. Now he's got to put it all together, right? All these guest verses. If he doesn't put it all together, you're going to always be wondering what if, because he's got the capability to do it. You know, he can hit you with the lady records, right? He can hit you with some street talk. He can hit you with some conscious records, right? He can hit you with some introspective records, right? He can hit you on different paradigms and different levels. Now it's time to put all this together and make that classic. You know, it's time. It's time. We need that. The game needs it. And if he does that, this will firmly entrench him in the top 10. And if he does that,
okay,
we can make an argument that he could be better than other people that they have currently ahead of him. So,
well, you know, we'll have to iron it out. You know, my list is a little different than everybody's list. I know people like, when you gonna make a list? Trust me, my list is very different from everybody else's greatest of all time list. Okay, I'm gonna talk about a difference in a minute. But as far as just like being great, there are some albums, you know, that are supposed to come out this year of more icons. Being that we just saw the fall of an icon, somebody, I want to see the reaction to that by other icons stepping up to the plate, and I want to see what they can do. Jay, I want to see what you can do. 50 is supposed to have something coming. I want to see a perspective that is new, because I've heard one dominant perspective from 50 Cent. I'm anxious to see if there is another perspective, being that he's grown into another space. Will Smith, his album Dance in Your Darkest Moment. I'm anxious to see where you go with that. You know what I mean? T.I., Ray and Ghost. So there's some the End Game from The Roots. It sounds like maybe a last album. I'm gonna talk about Black Thought and The Roots in a little bit. So I'm Snoop Dogg. I'm anxious to see where Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are at in 2024. And I want Snoop to show these people why he's Snoop Dogg. Because I think, just like I think Jay needs to remind people, because I think people looking at Jay like he's just some dude off the street. No, like he's Jay-Z for a reason. I think he has to remind them. Snoop, I think you got to remind people why you're Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? So, and you know, since the legends are outside, we just had LL Cool J, we just had MC Light, we've had a number of OGs step outside. Master Ace kicked it off this year. So legends, come on back outside. We know Nas is loading up. Nas is loading up the chamber with Primo. That's crazy, and the idea of that is crazy. I want to see the legends come outside, man. You know what I mean? As well as J. Cole. You know?
You know what? You know what?
What's
up? You know what? I'm kind of. I didn't want to touch on this today, and Super Duper's going to chime in on a bit because we got to talk about some stuff in a bit. We want to get Super Duper's perspective as well.
Yep.
But it bothers me, the speculation. I think a lot of us are using energy to speculate as hip hop people in the hip hop community and fans are speculating about, oh, such and such is going to be in trouble. They didn't next to get hemmed up. And I think we waste a lot of energy putting that negativity out there, right? We don't know, what's going on. I'm I grew up in the burbs, but I know people from the street, and knowing how the street operated, one of the codes they said is we don't wish jail on nobody. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of wishing jail on folks, man. It's a lot of wishing harm on folks. We don't know. I mean, if people do wrong, you gotta atone for that. You gotta account for the wrong that you do in the world, the energy that you put out. But hoping and wishing and praying for somebody's downfall or speculating, I mean,
Right.
we don't do that, man. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's just maybe I'm cut from a different cloth, but I'm not sitting around hoping and wishing and speculating.
No.
That's not.
I mean,
that's not me.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm definitely not wishing jail on nobody because to wish jail on somebody, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Of course, anybody use your imagination, right? You shouldn't be wishing. Jail is not where anybody wants to meet. To all the people out there, trust me, don't go to prison. Trust me on that. You will not like it. Okay. For the Diddy situation, and somebody said, they were kind of like happy about what's happening to Diddy, but I mean, I got to keep it up. And the context was like, what has he ever done that was good for the game? And I got to be real, I think at the time when he was in the 90s, that energy of dancing, like he brought back an energy of let's go out and have fun. I appreciated that energy. I'm sorry. And at that time, it was a lot of street activity going on. So for someone to come in and say, let's get back to having a good time, especially after we lost Biggie and Pac, and people were kind of down about that, for him to come in and say, okay, let's have a good time. I appreciated that energy. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I bought the No Way Out. I bought the Harlem World. I bought, I danced to Life After Death. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just from the cloth, man. I don't know what's going on. And hopefully I just don't know what's going on. So I'm not gonna speculate. I don't have no opinion about it. Because I don't know what's going on. It's none of
right. How could you? I mean, you hear stuff like little sound bites, but it's not like you got the same information that them people got. So we just covering hip hop, you know what I mean? But like I said, I want to see how the game responds to this, and I am a little disappointed. Not much, because again, a person, if they do something, they gotta stand on what they did, right or wrong, right? But it's like to be wishing the downfall of people or hoping that other people go down. I'm just not kind of with that, because again, in my view, in hip hop culture, now somebody tell me if I'm wrong, we spend a lot of time going at each other, but we pick someone that look just like us and go at them. We never have no smoke for the other side ever. We never have no smoke for them. Everything they do is fine. So
Right. And again, I think I would suggest people take the position uh that we don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, and trust me, we don't know, because
yeah,
I would hate for people to ever be put in a position where, folks just are speculating about you. And then again, if you do something that you ain't supposed to be doing, then that comes with a consequence. But
right.
to me, this seems like a little bit of a pile-on. It seems to be a lot of people are speaking about other people that's not even involved in the situation, saying, "Oh man, they next," and
Right.
and just throwing. That's irresponsible. Be throwing people's names out there, and you don't know. You don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's just wild to me, man. But anyway, I digress. Because
Yeah.
somebody in the chat might be like, "Oh, he's defending." Again, hear me clearly.
Come on.
I'm not defending anything because I don't know anything. All I'm saying is, if you do wrong, you got to account for that. But my position is, we shouldn't be throwing other people's names
Right.
in a situation where we don't know anything about and we weren't there. So
Well,
that's all. That's all.
50 cents keeping it. He's going in on Diddy, you know what I mean? Pause, but he's making jokes. But 50 had a real, he has a real history with Diddy. But like I said, I'm just anxious to see how hip hop responds to it. I think that it's in our best interest to turn negatives into positives instead of always turning negatives into more negatives. That's
Right.
a bar. That's a bar.
That is a bar. That is a bar.
Yeah, it's in our best interest to do that because we're alchemists. That's what we do. As a people, we take a negative situation and flip it into our benefit. That's what we do. What you think hip hop is? Hip hop flipped a bad situation into a culture. So, I mean, when we see one of us go down, and I'm using the word one of us, even though somebody be like, he's not one of us. I just mean a person in hip hop, a person, hip hop icon. We see one of us go down, we can choose to kick him while he's down or whatever the case. Hey, I don't care. Do what you want to do. But we could also flip that and see how the others react. Again, there are other icons out here that move other ways. I want to see what's their opinion on it. Lightly, you don't got to get into detail, but how can we build institutions, mogul record labels, legendary platforms and labels, and not deal with the people, not deal with the messiness, and not endanger other people. You know what I mean? I'm anxious to see that. 50 Cent, to his credit, he's been able to build an empire that is very successful, very multifaceted. It's in another world, meaning TV, and movies and stuff like that. Hey, that's a jewel, man. Speak on that. I'm anxious to hear him musically explain that. So I just wanted to start off with there are some legends, that are supposed to come back outside, as well as a new J. Cole. So that'd be something dope. You know what I mean?
No doubt. So where we going next, man? I know you had a topic you wanted to briefly touch.
Yeah.
Let's briefly touch on Consequence real quick, and let's go to the Fabolous and Black Thought conversation, and we bring Super Duper in. So so Consequence has a new album coming out. Talk to us about it, brother.
Yeah, so Consequence. I'm a fan of Consequence, right? And I talked about J. Cole a second ago about stepping into a certain confidence, which Consequence raps with a lot of, right? So he has a new album coming out. Now, people, you've been watching me on this show for a minute now. You know that I don't always talk about the most popular rappers. So this should not be a surprise to y'all. You know that I go left to talk about what I know people have not heard, right? Oh, this is the cover of his debut album. Hold on, let me get out the way. Boom. Don't Quit Your Day Job is what it was called. So I'm known to go left, and that's because I want y'all to hear different stuff. When we talk about Kanye West, there is a certain tribeism. I mean, A Tribe Called Quest. There is a certain tribeism in his music. There is a certain flow in his music. There is a certain approach, there's a delivery, there's a certain humor. I want y'all to go back and listen to Consequence and try to figure out where the crossing is between him and Kanye is musically, loop wise, picking of certain loops, right? Of beats. You know, when we if y'all have not heard the Movies on Demand series, the Movies on Demand mixtape series from Consequence, go listen to that. Go listen to that. Consequence is nice. Y'all haven't heard the Kumite where he went at Pusha T, and I think he got him. Y'all didn't even know that was a battle. Well, hold on. Pusha didn't. Pusha, I don't think Pusha made a full song about the brother, but that was a thing, and I think Consequence got him. Consequences are also in a thing with Talib Kweli. You know, I'll leave that alone, but he that's ongoing right now. But he's known to battle, right? But I'm just talking musically. Go back to Don't Quit Your Day Job. Go back to Take Them to the Cleaners. That mixtape had, you know, you see me now, or you see now, the song with Little Brother and Kanye back in the day. Go back to that. Go back to Movies on Demand, and you'll hear Kanye in that music. Now, granted, Kanye is literally doing a lot of the beats on there too. So it's not like I'm just saying, you know, like he's on there. But what I'm saying is them two have a lot in common musically, Consequence and Kanye. And I don't think a lot of people have heard Consequence's music in the past and have heard why when his album comes out, I'm going to listen to it. You know what I mean? Because I know what he's capable of. Now, again, people they're look, well, why hasn't he had a huge hit record? Again, I'm a hip hop guy. I'm in the bars. You're gonna hear a lot of Dilla beats. He's a hip hop guy. He's not Future. You know what I'm saying? So just check that out. He has a new album coming out. It's called I don't know why I lost the name right now, man. I should have wrote it down. But it's called Nice Doing Business with You. That's what it's called. And
no doubt. When's it dropping?
Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
So we need to have a report on that on Saturday.
Yeah. I think people should check it out because I promise you, he's probably going to have a lot of dope beats. He's probably going to have a lot of dope rhymes. He's probably going to have some ill concepts. He's probably, you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people really not on Consequence like that. You know what I mean? They really don't rock with him. I understand. Just like when I brought up Talib Kweli last week. I know y'all want to hear me talk about Drake and Kendrick. I know. But Consequence, you know what I mean? I think for the hip hop heads out there that are, especially if you're a Kanye head, I think you should check that out, man, because you're probably going to hear a Kanye-esque musicality, honestly. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's get into the next topic here. You wanted to compare. We want to rank. We want to see who's iller. Is it Black Thought or is it Fabolous? Now, these MCs are kind of different. I mean, they come from different eras. I mean, you got Black Thought came in the early '90s or the mid '90s with Illadelph Half-Life, and Things Fall Apart, Phrenology, things like that with the Roots. Then you have Fabolous coming on the scene like early 2000s. The mixtape game with Fab is known for. You got Freddie versus Jason with Jadakiss. You got the Soul Tape series, which is a legendary series. The Soul Tape had Cuffing Season on it, which was a banger. And then you had the stuff that he did with like Little Mo and, you know, those little R&B type female records back in the early 2000s. He worked with the Neptunes. So they're kind of two different realms, right? But Fabolous kind of kept the mixtape thing going. And then you had later on Black Thought doing cheat codes or whatnot. So it's kind of an interesting comparison. I'll reserve my thoughts until you go, but who I think is better. Not even thinking who is better, but who I would rank. Like, because we got to do that tier show. Like, what tier would I put each of them on, and who do I rank higher as far as top 100 space? Would I put Fabolous over Black Thought or Black Thought over Fabolous? I'll save my thoughts and cook up.
No, no problem, no problem. And the reason why I brought these two guys up, guys, is because I saw a Soul Tape 4 supposed to come out. If y'all familiar with the Soul Tapes, first I'm gonna talk about Fab, then I'll go into Thought. And I saw a title for a Roots album called The End Game. So I think people will know who I think is better by the time I break it down. But first, I'm going to start with musicality, right? I just talked about Puff, and we know Puff from back in the day. He took the 80s and remixed them into a certain sound. So when I talk about Fabolous and his mixtape bag, he takes a lot of old records and flips them into a newer sound, right? Now, the reason I brought up Fabolous is not just because I saw the Soul Tape 4, which I am a fan of the Soul Tapes, but if mixtapes counted as albums, now granted, his mixtapes are over original beats too. Now you got There Is No Competition, the series, you got Soul Tape, the series, and you got Summertime Shootouts, the series. That's about 10 albums. Okay? So if mixtapes counted as albums, would we be ranking Fabolous higher? Just a question. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy is nice lyrically. First of all, if you rhyme one syllables, I don't want to hear you rap. Okay, I'm past one syllables, right? If you rhyme one syllables, I don't want to hear you rap. Fabolous rhymes 3 syllables at a time, 3 to 4. Okay, so is he underrated? Just a question. You know what I'm saying? Just a question. So that's why I brought it up, only because, you know, I feel like bro is nice, man. And he been nice for a while. Now, go back. Before you say poets and rhymers, before you say Fab isn't that deep, go back to them Soul Tapes. Go back first. Okay? Listen to Sacrifice. Listen to Young OG. Listen to, Diamonds. Listen to, just go back to them Soul Tapes. You know what I mean? And peep for yourself. I'm gonna get into the Black Thought too, because I'm gonna make one of the all-time greatest arguments for Black Thought, because I don't think a lot of people make that argument. Which, if you look at the Roots, if Roots albums count as Black Thought albums, do we look at Black Thought differently? Just a question. Just a question, y'all. You got Half-Life.
Well, allow me to answer. I think if we take the compilation, or we take all their body of work, mixtapes, Roots albums, cheat codes, Soul Tapes, all of Fabolous's discography, and you put it all together, I still got, from bar for bar, I still gonna lean toward Black Thought. You know, even his pen game, I'm still gonna take Black Thought. So, you know, Fab is not a slouch, and I don't know if we did a top 100 MCs. I'm pretty sure Fab is on there, but I think Black Thought in his work from Phrenology, Things Fall Apart, Illadelph, and then Cheat Codes, and just his freestyle work and his feature work. I think he had a song with West Side Gun that was crazy. He had a song with Benny the Butcher that's crazy. I gotta go with Thought.
Yeah, but Thought, I mean, if I ask people to quote some bars, they're probably more likely to quote Fabolous bars than Black Thought bars. And they know he's nice. You know what I mean? Because Thought is gonna land around the same space a Kendrick might land, or a Talib might land. Like, people know he's nice, but are y'all really listening? What does the word phrenology mean? Does anybody in the chat know what that means? That's a sidebar question. But the tipping point, Game Theory, Rising Down, and Then You Shoot Your Cousin, How I Got Over, Undone. Have y'all heard these albums besides just Things Fall Apart? Do y'all know that this man is? Do y'all know why his rhymes is crazy? Now, they're within a musical context, though, that a lot of people, we're talking live instrumentation music. We're not talking, DJ Premier and Nas. So if you're not into that, I could see why you may have not have heard them Roots albums. But in my personal view, if we take all those Roots albums and if they count as Black Thought albums, then Black Thought has a top 10, top 12, top 15. I'm gonna go 10 to 12, somewhere in there. He got an argument because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's just 9 I wrote down. So the ones I didn't write down, we're probably dealing with 13 or 14 albums.
Again, just taking if judging from their freestyles, let's take something as basic as them rapping on Funk Flex,
right?
And taking Black Thought and just if you come from outer space and hearing both them MCs rhyming on a street corner, I'm gonna give it a thought. You know what I'm saying? If they is in a cipher, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Fab ain't no slouch now. I mean, I'm just saying Fab is no slouch.
Fab got enough freestyles that if you just took his freestyles, you'd have a couple albums. I mean, probably a few albums just off freestyles alone. Black Thought has that one legendary freestyle. And yes, people, I know he has more than one freestyle, but he has that one legendary one where he on Funk Flex. He went for 10 minutes. That was legendary. If we look at how many and Fab hasn't had legendary freestyles since the early, we're talking about the 2000s era. But in that time, though, his freestyles were a problem. When they're during that Clue era and that mixtape era and that there is no competition era, Fab was getting it in with the freestyles. And they were go back to him, y'all. Go back.
Let me get Brian with the super chat real quick. If a mixtape has original beats, it should count as an album. Imagine not counting any of those Nipsey mixtapes when discussing his catalog. Those count. I agree, Brian. I think you should count mixtapes when you think about the grand scheme of things. I think sometimes that the record labels or contractual obligations classify different projects as mixtapes as opposed to albums. Because some of those mixtapes, in my opinion, are albums. So it's just how they define it contractually and how they. But I think these things are albums. But anyway, Super Duper's in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's really good, fellas? What's happening? How y'all doing?
No, man, it's been a while, man. Last time you was on the show, man, you was getting a soft heart on Dot on me, man. You was saying that
man, I had to keep it real. People out here gassing that J. Cole verse right now.
Well,
and then they have to like that Kendrick song. That Kendrick song is still better than that J. Cole and Daylyt song right now.
Well, I think that J. Cole verse is better than Kendrick verses, though. I'll say that. How about that?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, it's not. I won't say it's a bad song, but I still think the Kendrick song is better. I like what Kendrick was doing lyrically, in microphone performance better than what Cole was doing on there.
Oh man, you surprised me, Super. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd hit a day, man. Hell must be freezing over or something.
I mean, I told you, man. I gotta be honest, man. I mean, I never really took a side in it. I mean, it is what it is. I can't be a super Kendrick fan, even though now I'm starting to hear him a little bit different. I'm starting to respect some of the music, even some of that stuff on Mr. Morale. I'm starting to like a couple of the tracks on there.
Oh man, you've been cloned. Is this the same Super Duper? Come on.
Hey, I rock with Mr. Morale, y'all. Sorry, I since for a while now I've been telling y'all I don't got a problem with Mr. Morale. I'm sorry. I thought it was different. I thought he took a leap forward into something else. Now, granted, is it your usual everyday rapping? No, but it's something different. Like I said, if you're an artist and you go left and do something different, I'm likely to give you a good rating. I'm just gonna keep it 100.
I mean, for me, it's just been like the time. Rich Beard started to grow on me. I already like it. What's that? N95 or whatever. Yep. And it's a couple of other tracks that's on there that's that's all right. I mean, I'm not gonna act like it's a great album. It's nowhere near a classic. I still don't think he got a classic, but I'm starting to respect Kendrick a little bit more as the time going on. So maybe just going back and digging through and just listening with a different ear. It started to grow on. Well, back to the subject at hand, man. Fabolous and Black Thought.
Yes.
I mean, I think that this really how I would make the choice when it comes down to this. Can you tell the story of hip hop without the roots and Black Thought?
No,
that's a question for. So
No.
I mean, you can tell the story of hip hop without Fabolous, man. And I got love for Fab was. He was hot. He had a time where he was really supposed to take over after, in the early 2000s. He kind of dropped the ball. I would say guys like Fabolous, Jada. It's a lot of guys that dropped the ball when they were supposed to be, up next at that time. And
Right.
I look at Fabolous as an underachieving rapper that could have been a superstar, could have been a lot greater and more respected than he is, but from the way I look at him and from the way that even his fans really truly talk about him, I mean, he almost like a mixtape rapper that had a couple radio hits.
But yeah, he had too many female records, and he kind of leaned to that pop record. Like he had the song Make You Better, Make You Better with Neo, the song with the Dream, Throwing in the Bag, the song when he did that Samia joint Into You.
He kind of look, not to cut you off, Ron. My bad. But to carry on to what you were saying, I agree with you. He kind of at the time where Ja Rule was taking over the game, he kind of tried to become like a Ja Rule, almost a Ja Rule clone in a way, or doing things that way instead of standing on his Fabolous thing or stand on his mixtape game when he came out with his albums. That's another thing that Fab always did. When his album came out, you was disappointed. But the mixtapes, they was always fire, or his freestyles, they was always hot. So
right, but you said he was a mixtape rapper. If he's a mixtape rapper, then we have to we have to tell the story of hip hop with him in it. Because when we tell the story of hip hop and we start running through mixtape rappers, then we're gonna have to run to Fab too. Because
I understand what you're saying, Leroy, but like, what's Fab's real claim to fame? Like, what is his hip hop moment?
For me, I think Fab is nice. I understand the politics of albums versus street albums, so I already know what the problem is here. But I also think he was compared to Jay-Z. And I think when someone's coming out and you're comparing them to Jay-Z, you're setting them up for an underwhelming, like, you comparing this person to Jay-Z, I think is a bit unfair. And I'm not saying they do it now. I'm saying in the early 2000s when he was very first coming out, people was like looking at him and then looking at Jay-Z. I think that's kind of unfair. You know what I mean?
I mean, I understand why people were saying that to a certain extent, just like lyric wise, and like that's what I mean. Like his trajectory at one time was, he was supposed to go to the moon, but he just didn't. He kind of fall into that. I would almost say it's almost more fair to compare him to like a guy like Cassidy, even though Fabolous has had more commercial success than Cassidy, but at a certain time they were both like neck and neck at one point in time. But Fab, I can't really say that Fab ran off on Cassidy because Cassidy had a lot of things that happened to him that derailed his career. But at one time or another, Cassidy and Fab were neck and neck.
The mixtape lane now, if that lane can make you better off in that lane than you would be on a major if you play it right. So, and he's not solely responsible for that. We know there were other mixtape rappers, but I'm saying that particular lane, if played correctly, may land you in a better position than you would be on a major. And
I don't think that Fabolous truly ever really established himself a real true cult following either. Like a lot of other rappers in the game that do choose to go the mixtape route. I don't think that Fabolous has I don't think he has a true hardcore fan base that's really like on the level of a Cameron, on the level of a Prodigy, or guys that fight hard for their guy, really like him.
I think for the spitters, I think for people that are just concerned with bars, the very few heads, especially the seasonal marketing schemes, meaning this is my project for the summer. This is my project for the winter. I think summertime shootouts, Soul Tape coming around the wintertime, and him playing off certain Christmassy type themes. I think these were early into what people do now for the bar heads, right? We know that like an RJ Payne, a 38 Special. There are certain heads that are not concerned with trying to be mainstream. They're bar guys. And I think
I don't even think that Fabolous is a better performer than Black Thought either. I mean, you really don't hear about Fabolous going on tour. You don't really hear about him performing. I mean, just like I said, I don't think that Fabolous is even a better lyrically at all, or can't even touch Black Thought on the microphone at all. But just if we're going to count like the points, just on the point system, just to entertain this, because it's really kind of disrespectful to be honest. But anyway.
I had no idea we were going to compare the two. So we're here.
But
I had no idea we were going to do that. So,
but I mean, honestly though, like I said, I think that over his career, I think that Black Thought has had either the Roots. If we're gonna count the Roots, count his projects. I don't think that Fabolous has a project that's more respected than Cheat Codes. You know what I'm saying, out there. So
even with cheat codes, I expected a better reception to that. Now, granted, and a lot of that cheat codes, a lot of a part of that hype too, a part of it, I'm not saying I'm solely responsible, is me saying Danger Mouse, Danger Mouse, Danger Mouse, right? At the time that he was about to do that record, right? So if I'm on According to Hip Hop and I'm saying Danger Mouse and Black Thought, Danger Mouse and Black Thought, what I'm saying is there's a combination musically there that we have not heard. And when people kind of recognize that, because Black Thought been out here, and when is it that there is like a huge reception for Black Thought and the Roots albums or something? There is in certain demographics, and we downplay that because the demographic is not, we'll call it coffee house music or you know, festival music. Well, festival music is pretty dope. You know what I mean? Being at festivals is pretty dope, y'all. I don't know.
When Cheat Codes came out with Danger Mouse, the mainstream music press did give it its props. So I did see a lot of reviews on Cheat Codes. A lot of music critics did give Black Thought his flowers during that period of time. Let me go to the super chat real quick. Web Visibility says, I would say the Roots have 3 classic albums. Do You Want More, Things Fall Apart, and Game Theory. I would rate Illadelph, Half-Life, and How I Get Over as a strong 4 mic albums. Fab's not on Thought's level. And you know, and I would, if you want to compare it to, as much as I don't want to, I would have to agree with that comment. Web Visibility with another super chat says, Thought also has the greatest freestyle in hip hop history.
Now,
granted, I would agree with that too.
When I was making my Thought argument, Fab was supposed to be before or after my Thought comments. It wasn't supposed, but when I was making my Thought comments at first, I was gonna compare. I was gonna put him versus Ghostface. Okay,
I really think that would have been more of a real true comparison, to be honest with you, just because they both got group and solo work. But Ghostface is better though too.
That's where I was going, right? But I mean, we can talk Ghost and Black Thought, but again, both of them though, but comparison aside, both of them, are they ranked properly, right? If we look overall, we're talking Black Thought and Ghostface, are they ranked properly? The underrated part about Fab was just, I was going to say, I think original music on mixtapes should count when we're doing our rankings, because a lot of those don't get ranked when we're talking about artists. In a lot of these mixtapes, they were original music, and when we're making our list, we're not counting those projects, you know what I mean, as part of their albums.
Leroy, but when I hear you say rank, man, I don't really understand what you mean when you say that, because I know you like to lean on the lyrical side and all these other things. So I mean, are we ranking them as far? Is this a ranking as far as who's the better, just straight up rapper, or who is like greater in rap history?
Well, you're not just going to be one of the greats just off lyrics alone. So if anybody makes my list of greatest and you think it's purely just lyricism, no, you're going to need more things than just the lyricism. When we talk about Black Thought, there's a musicality also that is very different, being he has a band and a live instrumentation. that musicality is very different from a lot of other MCs.
But don't he deserve points for that too, for being so so creative and out there on the edge too? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that he deserves some brownie points for that.
Yes, then that's what I'm saying. That's why I hold him a little bit higher if I'm talking musicality, how the music lands, the range of the music. Put the lyrics to the side, right? There are beats and hooks and progressive notes and bridges, and there are certain things musically that the Roots do that I'm going to give them a little bit of edge over a lot of other MCs. You know what I mean? Especially with a catalog like theirs. I could do the same with Ghost in a different direction, but I could show how musically he's very different than what we're accustomed to hearing. You know what I mean? So again, go ahead.
I would say, like Ghostface is in my personal top 5. In my personal top 5. But if I was just ranking this just on a straight up lyrical ability, I would be able to. I could admit and say that I think Black Thought is lyrically better than Ghostface Killer. You know what I'm saying? Like just lyrically, as far as just straight up rapping lyrically, I think that he is better than Ghostface Killer. But I don't think that he's nowhere near as far as legacy wise, song wise, catalog, anything that. Like he can't touch Ghost on any other category, but straight up and down lyrically, I would say that I would give Black Thought the edge.
So we're kind of on a similar page then. What you just said, I could agree with for the most part. Now catalog wise, I think they're a little bit closer. But if we're just talking about raw rapping, I think if anybody gets in a ring with Black Thought, just raw rapping, I think they're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a hard time keeping up. But they're both. I'm just talking about them both being super dope, and are they ranked properly? Because I think both of them have top 10 arguments. So,
y'all remember the BET ciphers, right? Because the BET Awards is about to come out, Hip Hop Awards about to come out. Fat Joe hosting in a couple weeks live in Las Vegas. I saw the nominees. Servan and Mike talked about it on last show. I thought the nominees were kind of whack. I think the award show is kind of washed up and whack anyway. But I remember back in the day, there was that Mos Def, Black Thought, and Eminem cipher. And Primo had that little loop, you know what I'm saying? That little break beat that he was playing in the back. And hell, I got to say, if I'm ranking the verses, I ain't going to front. M got off on it. I don't know. Black Thought got off on it too. I don't know. What you remember that joint, Leroy? You remember that? You remember that joint?
Which one?
The BET freestyle.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The most Black Thought and Eminem. Eminem closed it out. How would you rank those verses?
I mean, with Black Thought's pen game, right? I respect his pen game to the fullest because he speaks from a very adult perspective. He has never really been rapping from just like I'm one of the youth just trying to be cool. He always has had the jewels in there. He's had the perspective in there. He's had a something familiar in his verses that you can kind of tell, okay, this person has been through something. I've read his book. The last book he just dropped. I know this is a person that thinks about what he's saying. I've always respected Black Thought's bar game, and just as far as being just a raw MC, every time. And same thing with Common. Somebody mentioned him, but I'm always impressed with these guys' rapping ability. Same way with most.
You totally didn't answer my question.
Oh, about the flow specifically,
about that freestyle in the cipher, the Black Thought, Mos Def, and Eminem joint. Who you think had the best verse on that joint?
I'm gonna have to listen again, but I'm gonna have to listen again. But I do remember exactly which one you're talking about. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna have to listen again because those verses, right? Sometimes when MCs are campaigning or they're out, they use or sometimes you hear that verse and then you'll hear it on an album. So then it's the verse is still dope. I'm not taking nothing away from the verse, but it kind of I'll lose sight of oh crap, that was also in a freestyle, because now I'm thinking of it as a song because I'll hear the same verse in song form, if that makes any sense.
Right. He had the second verse. He was like remix, rising up out of the flames like a phoenix, straining to carry the weight on my brain like a genius, knowing I'm sowing seeds.
So that's from Do It Again.
Let's see who thumb is the greenest. If I said it, I mean it, and I did it because I need it. Eat, sleep, and bleed it. Write it down and read it. Asphalt to the cement. Your trash is then deleted. Blast off. I lay him on the therapeutic.
That's from.
I told you I would win eventually. The unsung, underrated, underappreciated, the one, the underachievers, and underestimated, finally graduated from something that's so hated to one that's most sacred. Nobody gonna take it. Face it. I keep doing it well, doing it sans assistant to yourself. Yeah, he got off on this verse.
Yeah, that's from his song "Doing It" from How I Got Over, featuring John Legend. Phenomenal record. That was right after the single "The Fire." That whole album is fire. Do y'all got How I Got Over? When How I Got Over came out, I was psyched about that. You know what I mean? I don't know if other people felt the same way. Now I do think when they get Grammy nomination, Grammy consideration, sometimes hip hop kind of writes it off. Oh man, they made it to the Grammys. They're not cool no more, bro. Black Thought is a spitter whether he gets a Grammy or not. I don't care about no award. I care about the bars and the music. You know what I mean?
It's all good. Yo, let's change subjects real quick. I know Super Duper, you weren't on the show when the Diddy news broke. I know we've been having some back and forth offline about it. What's your thoughts about what you've been seeing, the commentary about the situation, and what does this mean to his legacy overall? Do you think, and I know Mike had asked a question on the previous show, are people going to stop playing his music? Where do we draw the line about, not playing music, playing music? I think his streams have gone up. What's your thoughts on the situation, brother?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100, like I always do, man. I mean, I'm not even that outraged about this shit. Like, to be honest with you, it's like from what they saying on it on from the news, the press conference, and everything that we can gather as supposed to be what they're talking about, that they're letting us know right now. To me, it sounds it sounds wild to me. It kind of sounds like it sounds like it could be a charge that any basketball player, any rapper in the game, anybody, any football player, anybody that ever flew an Instagram model out or ever paid an escort or flew out a video girl and had some sex with her or something and gave her some money or whatever. I mean, like a lot of this stuff, man, it sounds crazy for it to be a RICO charge. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and for it to be like one of the first times for us to hear about somebody being charged with a RICO, where they're taking his company, taking his assets, taking everything from him. And it's so many other people that's out here with like similar charges, but they never even came with the RICO on them like that. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, man. It sounds shaky to me. But as far as like not listening to Diddy music or nothing like that, I mean, I never was a big fan of Diddy music like that anyway. Other than Big, I mean, I don't listen to Diddy anyway. So,
I mean, it's Diddy, man. It's Bad Boy. It's Bad Boy. It's the icon status. If once they try to get somebody like that, they're gonna go for everything. So that's a light warning for the other icons and legends, but they're gonna go for everything because why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? And especially right at the beginning of a trial, they're gonna put as many charges on the paperwork as possible. As time goes on, it'll be less. You'll see less charges on there, but they're gonna go for everything because they, don't nobody want to see. And this is not caping for the man, just in general. Don't nobody see one of us come up and be worth $1 billion out here walking around. You know what I mean? That's a shot in the face of America. Like, hold on, it's the descendant of a slave out here with $1 billion. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So and again, that don't take away from anything that he might have done or not did. I don't know, but I do know them people, they gonna go for everything. You know what I mean?
think it just, to me, it just sounds a little outlandish what they like. Unless they got it really on tape, and they got video tapes of this man with threatening people in the middle of freak offs with weapons and and people keep coming back to these parties where he's threatening and drugging, and people don't know what they're getting into. All of a sudden, just an orgy or a freak off, pop off. Like I don't know, man. Like I said, I hate to throw Diddy some bail. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it is what it is right now. Like I said, from what they're saying, I mean, I didn't hear nothing about no minors being involved unless they holding back that information for later. But I didn't hear anything about minors. The only thing that I remember is 1,000 bottles of baby oil, like making like you know, they try to. It just seemed like he was making pornos and throwing freak offs and flying women out and paying them to come hang out and party and participate in the freak off for a couple dollars. So I mean, if that's the charge, then that's the charge. But I'm not overly outraged.
It does sound a little crazy to the point. And again, I don't know what's going on. I never partied with Diddy or nothing. But it does sound a little crazy because if he's having these massive parties, well, then everybody else saw what everybody else what they saw. So what? Everybody was standing there and just watching, like so. But hey, I don't know, man. Like you know what I mean? It just sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, it basically sounds like he getting arrested for basically having a OnlyFans or making pornos, having a Pornhub channel or something. You know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speak too fast because you know you never know what they really got. But from that press conference, I wasn't very impressed with what they was trying to use as to justify a RICO charge on the man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? It's no telling. It's still early. It's no telling where to go. I just overall, I wouldn't wish this situation on nobody, and you know, I just leave it there. You know.
Yeah, man. So we kind of covered a lot today. I know we talked about J. Cole. I gave you my top 5 J. Cole features. We talked about Consequences new album coming out Friday. We also talked about did a comparative analysis between Black Thought and Fabolous. And before we get out of here, I got to do something real quick. Now I know, Leroy, you in the Bay, you more of a basketball guy, you know, but I got to talk to Super Duper. You got any before we get off the music, Leroy? Do you have any other topics regarding the music you want to get into tonight before I get to my football picks? I gotta roast Super Duper real quick because he made a comment a couple weeks ago that's been totally debunked, that's been totally been disproven, and he's been looking crazy in the last 3 weeks. But I gotta address that. So before we get on into that, Leroy, any music topic real quick?
No, I pretty much said what I wanted to say. I just want to see what the legends and what the hot people, what they're gonna do and where hip hop is gonna go. Watching what's happening, I need everybody to pay attention. And I'm just anxious to hear some dope stuff and see some turn a dark time in hip hop. You know, even though it's really just one guy's dark time, but Kendrick just set it off last week. We talking about the party is dead, so he was talking about the culture, period. So Kendrick ready for the smoke over the whole culture. So I just want to see where it goes from here. You know what I mean? Who is going to emerge from this smoke and bring out some light? You know, that's all, man. You know?
Well, the fall off is coming, and, you know, Kendrick is coming, supposedly. And then you had, matter of fact, before we get out of this, I want to know, do you guys know any of these people? Complex just put out a list of the top 10 or top 20 teenage rappers. And have you guys
rappers under 30?
No, not rappers under 30. The 13 best teenage rappers right now.
Wow.
I don't think I would.
Have you heard of a guy named Ian?
No.
Ian, what's his song called? Ian. I don't know what his me. He's 19. Ian. Cash Dami. I heard of Cash Dami from the DMV.
But if they're teenagers, you know, especially if they only got 1 or 2 songs or one project out, I probably haven't heard it.
I mean, remember back in the day, Jadakiss and folks were teenagers and they was making dope records. Memphis Bleak, Tana. Somebody named Tanny. You heard of Tana?
No, I heard of Tana. Okay. Yeah.
How about Che? You heard of Che?
No.
How you spell it?
CHE. Che.
I want to say I heard it. Is it female?
A female.
Yeah, I want to say I heard her before.
Let me see if I can share my screen. Hold on.
Shout out to the name though. You know what I mean? The name is cool. You know what I mean? But we got Shay Noir though. Or but hey, I ain't mad.
Okay.
Like Complex is sketchy, man. When Complex be saying man, I don't know, man. Complex is sketchy.
All right. How about Sha G's?
No.
No Sha G's. Okay. How about, I don't even know how to spell this joint. Say this joint. 2S Dextrol. I guess my man's from Atlanta. I should know that. I don't even know how you say this. 2X Dextrol. No, never heard of them guys. How about Sugar Hill D-Dot?
No, son. If they really hot like that, I'm assuming that somebody out there would have already put us on, right? Or said something about them. Mad Max.
I mean, these songs, these people are like who your 12-year-old, 13-year-old daughter sneaking and listening to, and they probably like some local guys. I'm sure these dudes ain't even hit the radio, or they probably popping on Instagram or YouTube or somewhere out there like that.
We ain't trying to be the OGs. We trying to give back. You know what I'm saying? We trying to show love to the new generation. That Complex, a reputable outlet is Complex, is saying he's the hottest in the game. I would think somebody would have heard him in the chat. 31.
I mean, but the game kind of dead too, man. Like it's not like most of these rappers that a lot of these young people listening to. I know from my kids, most of my kids listening to like underground local guys. They're not even really into like mainstream real music and stuff like that.
Right.
So they pretty much, they listen. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go through the list real quick. Star Bands is number 5. She's from Chicago. Baby Kia. I don't know who that is. Netspin. You heard of Netspin?
No.
Diddy Osama. You heard it?
I mean,
he's a New York drill rapper. He came out in 2023 last year. Diddy Osama. Yeah.
No.
I heard it.
I mean,
you heard of this dude?
How many emails we getting at according to hip hop from these new artists? Now, granted, a new artist would be like, why do I got to talk to you? When from in the blog era, rappers was sending their music out. They was sending their music out to everybody. So what's the difference? If you done made a bunch of songs, why are we not getting them? Why are we not getting your music so we could go through it and see what it is? You know what I mean? If you feel like you just want to stay in the corner that you're in, I ain't mad at that. You could you could have that, but there are multiple corners all over the music.
I mean, I think that really too. I mean, it's not. We already know that the music game is more industry based, and pretty much we pretty much more or less spoon fed our music. So like, I do like the fact that the kids are digging into like more local rappers, more underground rappers, more rappers that's around pretty much where they live in a city base. Because if you're from Philly, you like Philly rappers, especially young, and as a kid, there's a lot of young Philly local rappers that that's hot in their area. In the same way that's up here or in Detroit, it's a lot of local Milwaukee rappers that Milwaukee people love. The kids in Milwaukee love their local rappers right now, in the same way in Detroit. But so like the industry is as far as like them sign. I mean, most of these guys they're gonna be one hit wonders. So it's not very much. I mean, look at when the last time that an actual rapper has stuck within the last maybe 5 years, other than a female rapper, other than a Sexy Red or Glorilla.
That Mexican OT. What's his name? The Mexican.
I don't think. I mean, he's still more or less underground though. Like he not really like. He started to get more known, but I still don't think he had his moment yet, or where we could say that
Pop Smoke was the only one, but he got unfortunately he got murdered. But Pop Smoke was the one that came out that popped.
He wasn't the norm. As we're talking about, what is the norm though? And I got an issue with the young rappers being marketed as one hit wonders, because that's what they're marketed as too. Like he got one hit, then he's gone forever. Like when you're someone that's that young go through the process of the game. This is why I came in on some artist development type of mindset. Without that artist development, you're leaving so much on the table. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, you're leaving tons of opportunity, tons of money, tons of knowledge. Like, put these young rappers through artist development, have them go through the ups and downs of being hot, of not being hot. Know what it feels like to not be hot, even though you came out and you weren't hot when you first came out. But know what it's like to have the ups and downs of the industry. Know what it's like to listen to hours of beats that are different and then having to make different songs for different audiences.
Not to cut you off, Leroy, but to be honest with you, I mean, I think you got a good point to a certain degree, but at the same time, I mean, the industry don't want them. That's really more or less of what the problem. Like, the industry really don't want to have that headache of training people and sending them to do all this stuff, all the things that you were just talking about, because for one, they might not be that good anyway. Like they might be still a one-hit wonder. I mean, look how many of the guys that has came out in the last maybe 10 years, and it's probably been only 2 of them that have stuck. I'm not going to even play the name game. I mean, we can all think about it. The chat can name who they want to name, but nobody has really truly stuck on a mainstream level. And that's why you still got a guy like Drake, 20, damn near 15 years, still running the game. You got some guys that came in, made a little splash, had a little one hit, and then they went back to the underground, or they went back out of the mainstream, or they can't even sell an album or make a hit.
Number 1 on that teenage list was Lil Tyler. Tyler was number 1 on that list. So
I like him, though. I do like him.
Yeah, Tyler's been around for a minute, so he might be able to stick.
Yeah, we're rolling the dice on a 1 in a million roll. So the making a song to stick to the mainstream, that's a once in a million dice roll. So the chances of you hitting that is just not going to happen, right? In the real world. So why the music industry keeps betting on that? That's a once in a lifetime dice roll, right? Or that's like hitting the lottery. I would think it would be better to plan out a few years and see what an artist could make in that time than to continue to bet on that one record hitting the mainstream. That is a lottery ticket. It's the same mindset. You know what I mean?
I mean, really, when you think about it, man, back in the day when the industry and like the mainstream really first started coming in, and they started really signing rappers, and all these guys were getting all these deals, and then like the company started losing a lot of stocks, and they started getting like the companies will get more in trouble. Like, in the last 10 years, it's not even been too much of that where Columbia Records is responsible for some rapper beating up somebody at a nightclub or something like that. Like right now, like the way that the industry is pretty much hands off. I mean, they seem like they're more into disputing. They're not into making stars. If you got something hot and they can use it and they can distribute it, then they'll sign you, take a good chance on you. If you hot, you just made a couple, 1 or 2 or 3 hit songs that then crossed over from the underground, and now you're getting local radio play, or they hearing your songs in the club, and you can build yourself. Now they'll come with a deal for you, but for the most part, I mean, like I said, the artists got to do so much work on their own that, I mean, if I'm an artist, I wouldn't even want to be signed to a major label. Just the way that they make you work so hard just to get that deal, and then as soon as you're not as hot as you was yesterday, they ready to drop you and you owe money.
Right,
but you know what I'm saying? So
if it's just about getting to the money, and we're still relying on kind of like a 90s blueprint for that, in the social media internet age, I think a new blueprint could be made if it's about getting money, because I think the labels can figure out how to get money. But if you're trying to abuse the artist, then you're going to create one-hit wonders. The artist sees that. He's not going to play into that, especially if he's doing 99.9% of the work. The artist wants to know what can you do to add value to the brand that I've already established. And if you're just offering a one-hit wonderism, the artist may say, well, I'm not going to act like it's the greatest thing ever then. You know,
Right. Let me go through this list. Complex also did a list top 20 rappers in their 20s. Number 20 was Cash Cobain. Cash Cobain is all right. I'm not, a big fan. Number 19, Jack Harlow. This is a guy that they really pushed heavy, but I don't really think he popped off. He had a couple of joints, the Nail Tech joint. The song he had was popping. He had a couple of joints, but I mean, they really pushed this dude. White Man Can't Jump. They had him slinging chicken at KFC. Had him on College Game Day, but he really didn't pop like that. They thought he was gonna be the next one. I know he was on He was on Ebro's show. Ebro was like, "This is gonna be our last interview."
Jack Harlow's out there.
But Jack, he all right. But
he's out of here. Jack Harlow is out.
This list right here though is full of industry mistakes when you keep going through and reading it too.
So Jack Harlow's 19. Number 18 is Boss Man D-Lo.
I like Boss Man D-Lo, but he got to figure out a way to change up the way his songs sound, because almost every song sounds the same from him. He got to find a way to diversify his rapping or something. Like he got to change the way his flow pattern is or something. He got to figure out another style, something to make his songs not sound so much the same.
Right. Number 17 is Baby Keem. Not a big Keem fan, to be quite honest with you. I mean, he's all right, but I'm not. Some of his music sounds good sonically,
right?
But I'm not a big Keem fan. Number 16 was NBA YoungBoy. I mean, the kids love him. I never really got into his music like that. What say you?
Same.
I think he another one of those guys that the industry regret doing business with at the same time, because he should like when you look at what he is, he's pretty much still just an underground rapper, but he has a big cultish fan base, right? Because you don't really hear him on the radio too much. He doesn't get that mainstream push and love. His fan base just go for what he put out, and his fan base is loyal to him. You know what I'm saying?
I can't name 3 NBA YoungBoy songs, man. Maybe I'm too old. I can't name 3. Y'all can name 3? I can't name 3.
I can't, not off the top of my head, but I do like a couple of his songs, though. I can't lie on him. I mean, I think the industry look at him as if he was wasted talent, and he was supposed to be way more productive than he is, because really pretty much the way he get his money is from streams and from video plays and getting paid from YouTube. I mean, so like if he could have made that crossover, or at least just been more free enough to where maybe his music, just whatever he put out, would just cross over because, like it's because it's hot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I think his circumstances really held him back in the industry. That's one of the last major industry mistakes that the industry really made investing in.
No doubt. Number 15, Mad Max, before you get in here, I'm gonna go through this list. Number 15, Sexy Red. I mean, that's self-explanatory. Sexy Red, you either love her, you hate her. She's not my cup of tea.
Personalities. These are personalities. The algorithm fell in love with their personality. So
number 14 is V's.
Veezy.
I'm sorry, Veezy.
Okay.
Number 13 is Doechii.
Okay.
Not really feeling her music, to be quite honest. Number 12 is Ken Carson.
Okay.
I'm not really familiar with his joint. Number 11, top 20 rappers in their 20s, Lil Uzi Vert.
That's a good rapper. You said.
I thought Uzi was older than 29, but he might be shaving some years off his age. But
yeah,
and I'm not a big Uzi fan, to be quite honest with you. It's not my cup of tea.
I could hear something with Doechii, but again, I would go for the long haul. I wouldn't just treat Doechii like here today, gone tomorrow. I would see what she can do over the course of a time period.
She's not good.
I mean, we always try to say that rap is a young man's game, and we talk about the youth, right? But I mean, most of the hottest rappers that are out, they are all over 30.
Right, and they all been through ups and downs. They all at one point, people saying their music wasn't good. That's what made them good. to hear people saying their music wasn't good, they've been through that. We wasn't around in their 20s when they was going through that, but they've been through that. The greats been through that.
Right. The top 10 rappers in their 20s. Top number 10 is Chief Keef. I thought this guy was older than this too. Chief Keef.
Wait, they had.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man. That's what you say.
They had Chief Keef over Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah, Chief Keef is number 10.
That's ridiculous. And I fuck with Chief. Come on, son. That's ridiculous.
Number 9, they shaving some of these cats' ages down. Little Baby.
No, Chief Keef came out when he was like 13, Ron. Chief Keef is like a year older than me, bro. I'm not 30.
Okay. Little Baby, number 9. Now I see, so yeah, Super Duper. Little Baby's an artist that's stuck. They put out, and he kind of
he really hasn't stuck. He been flopping left and right. Like really,
he got some staying power though. Little Baby.
No, we don't. He don't really make. He's not as mainstream as he once was at all. He really struggling to make a hit. He kind of on the falling off level right now, but he holding on by the wire.
He holding on. He
holding on. He holding on. Yeah, he got a song or two that's hot. I can't think of the name off top, but I've heard recently. I can't think of it, but it's pretty straight. I mean, he all right. And I'm not hating on him, but I wouldn't say that the industry is happy with what they've been getting from him at all.
Okay. In the same lane as Jack Harlow. But Little Baby and Jack Harlow, they're both out of here. They already did what they had to do.
Yeah.
I think they expected Jack Harlow to be like a Drake, be dropping music like on a Drake pace. I think they expected Jack Harlow to be bigger than what he is.
You'll never see another Drake in this lifetime. Ever.
I think that to be honest with you, I mean, since we're bringing this up, and I'm not trying to bring up race, but I think the industry would be more patient with a guy like Jack Harlow, just because of the white fan base is still not as tapped in as drained and as squeezed as the black fan base of hip hop is. So if they could still make some more white stars in hip hop, they would really love to. Like the industry would love to do that. So I wouldn't doubt that they would put more effort into Jack Harlow having a hard comeback, or
Drake is a student of the game. A lot of these artists are just the artist, but without being a student. You're not gonna beat somebody who's a student and an artist. Drake is gonna learn and then apply. Other artists are just gonna be artists. Drake studies this. It's no way this man has 100 hit records and he's not vehemently studying the craft. You're not going to see another Drake again. He's a student and an artist. A lot of these other people just artists.
Let me go to the list real quick. That's a good point. Leroy. Number 8, Lil Yachty. And Lil Yachty is somebody we thought was going to be a one-hit wonder and out of here. But
Lil Yachty over Lil Uzi?
He got some staying power. He's building a cult following. So I can't say he's not. He is. Yachty is. You thought Yachty
Lil Yachty over Lil Uzi?
That's what Complex.
This is why you don't take Complex serious.
Hold on. Give Mad Max some room to argue about Lil Yachty and Lil Uzi Vert. I want to hear this.
No, but anybody who's listening to Lil Yachty's music and Lil Uzi Vert's music know that Lil Uzi Vert is way better than Lil Yachty. Who the hell is playing Lil Yachty?
The dude that be wearing the dresses?
Little Uzi had that. He had that part that.
I'm not co-signing Lil Yachty. I'm saying when Lil Yachty came out, I expected this guy to be a one-hit wonder and never heard again. I didn't expect years later. What we like 6-7 years later with Yachty, and he's still around, still working, writing songs for Drake, allegedly working with Drake, doing songs with Cole. He's still. Still got a following. You know what I'm saying? He's still
Uzi
around.
But Ron, Lil Uzi had "I Just Want to Rock" like 2 years ago. That was one of the biggest songs of the year.
It was.
Still Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi's out of here too. He did his thing already.
So I don't see where Lil Yachty should ever be ranked ahead of Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi rap better than him, pick better beats than him. He has a better rapping voice than him. I mean, I don't even see where the comparison is.
Either way, I mean, like I said, like we talking about, they both industry demons. So I wouldn't be surprised if the industry hang on to them and push them and use them for everything that they can get out of them, whether it, regardless of the agenda. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't even got to say it too loudly on here, but y'all know what they do to keep themselves relevant. So,
right. But Uzi would be in like the Travis Scott type of arena, is what we're talking about. Mad Max.
No,
Nah, he
no,
kind of,
no,
yeah, he
sir.
kind of Young Thug. No, Playboy Cardi, Young Thug.
Okay.
That's where Lil Uzi's better than Young Thug to me, but I don't
Number
back Young
seven,
Thug.
number seven on the top 20 MCs under 20. Number 7 is Glorilla.
Let's go, Big Glow.
Ooh, number 6. Number 6. They got it right on this one. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Before I pull out number 6. Let me find.
Number 6 is it better not be Lotto because she's not better than Big Glow. That's ridiculous.
Number 6. You bear with me 1 second. I gotta pull out number 6 real quick. Number 6 is a friend of the show. A friend of the show.
What?
Someone who watches the show. Somebody in the camp told me personally she watches the show every Saturday and Wednesday. So let me just, I want to give the person this person their due. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure we highlight dope MCs, and I disagree with Complex's list. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like Complex's list all the time, but I gotta say this one is the real deal.
Dolce.
And yeah, I can't even find it, guys. I can't even find it, but it's okay. It's okay. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on 1 second.
We're looking for a picture of that. Who you talking about? Gotta be live.
Number 6. I can't hold the show for this.
You know we say Lotto. You love with Lotto.
Number 6 is Lotto. Lotto is number 6 on the list.
Can I
Trash.
Can I say this about Lotto? Lotto was also a student of the game. When she got famous, this wasn't her first rodeo. Like I said when we first talked about Lotto, been around. It's just when she got famous, y'all thought it was new. If you remember the show that Jermaine Dupri had a while back. She was on that show already. She's been trying to do this. She has, so she's a student of the game. You got to learn how to do this. You can't. People think you can just wing it. I'll just wing it into success. Nah, you got to learn how.
That show was 10 years ago, and she still ain't have a real
Lotto
impact.
is out of here, bro. Lotto is out of here.
She's
Same as
out of here. How's she out of here? She's selling 29K.
Once you drop a few hit records, you're out of here.
Big Mama
Not like that, bro.
Big Mama was hitting like that. So you see,
Big Mama's better than TGIF from Glorilla. It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. Come on, stop it.
I ain't saying that. Stop twerking, Max.
That's super duper. You know that song is fire. Stop it. You know that song is better than anything Lotto ever made. Let's be for real.
Anyway,
Big Mama. Come on, man.
Let's
Sound
continue.
Like a child, man.
While Mad Max is slandering one of our biggest fans, Lotto, let's continue. Number 5, Yeet.
That's ridiculous.
Number 5 is Yeet.
Whatever.
What say you guys? Are you familiar with Yeet?
Yeet is a Playboy Cardi's son. He's a white boy who copies and pastes anything Playboy Cardi. He's trash.
Okay, so I can't. So number 4 is Megan Thee Stallion.
That's ridiculous, bro. Whatever.
I thought she was older than 29, but that's what they say.
Number 3. This list alone is proof that they haven't made a male star since like 21 Savage or something like that. Like it's been a long time since it's been a male star.
Right. Yeah. Number 21, number 3 is Central C.
Okay, that's actually okay. Because Central C, for a UK cat, he got some swag. I can't front. That white boy over there got some swag. I can't front. He's kind of high.
All right, number 2. This is surprising. Another one I thought that was older than what they say they are. Doja Cat.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Aside from her personal comments in life that are kind of crazy, and her look that can be kind of crazy on walkways and runways, her music, I could see why it does what it does. I'm not gonna lie. The singing and the rapping, I could see why she's connecting.
She
Hey,
came in. She came in the game with a song called "Moo."
right.
I
I
just,
remember
I just want people to remember that because
that.
does not make hip hop music. I don't care if she rap. Rapping does not make you a hip hop artist. That
Right.
is not
She's
hip
got
hop.
demonic energy, and I'm not trying to be, holier than thou, but her energy is something I don't really
Musically, Doja Cat is a talented artist. I
yeah,
mean,
I
I'm,
She's
can't well,
talented for pop
I can
music.
never get with her
yeah,
music because
we're talking about
it's
right.
so dark. You know what I'm saying? I can never get with her music. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the symbolism. It's just
We're
I
talking about pop music, right? I thought these artists were pop artists that we're talking about.
right, but
No,
I
they're
mean
supposed to be hip hop.
hers is blatant, like blatantly demonic, and I just don't I can't really sit down. So I can be honest, I've never really sat down and really listened to none of her records like that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
mean,
it's
a
more
lot of them on that list pretty much demonic though. Really, like a lot of them are.
I don't know what
They,
they're doing, but I have heard their records outside. If I'm out in traffic or out in the street, yes, I've heard these female records. And when I've heard Doja Cat outside, I said, yeah, she sounded like she's pretty talented. I mean, is it something that I would be bumping personally or I would search for? I can't say that, but I can't recall the song that she had, but it's kind of like a throwback vibe. It was like she was singing the whole time, but it had a video, looked like everybody was dressed up in the 70s. Then she had another song, kind of like on some Havana, Cuba type of thing. I mean, she got talent. I mean, hey, again, it's singing and rapping, and I know a lot of people do that. But when I hear this, someone who can do both, but it kind of connects well, I gotta give it to him. That takes skill. I mean, hey, aside from whatever else she's doing in the demon world, I don't know about that. But talent wise, hey,
Get to number one, Ron. Get to the most influential rapper probably of the last 15 years. Get to number one.
where I'm at. I'm what am I? I'm at two.
Yeah.
Our number one, man. This is surprising. Playboy Cardi.
The most influential rapper, arguably, of the last 15 years. He got sons and people older than him biting his whole style. It's
Mad Max.
crazy.
So
another one of them demonic niggas.
Playboy
Well,
Cardi,
the industry's demonic, so the whole industry is demonic, so they all represent demons. So at some point,
you're putting him over Drake in the last 15 years. But again, though, isn't Playboy Cardi like a mix between Young Thug and ASAP Rocky?
I mean, you could take influences, but he's flipped their influences and has influenced them. Like you talking about Drake, I watched Drake copy Playboy Cardi's video style for the song with Sexy Red and SZA. I also watched Kendrick and the Hillbilly. What's his cousin, Baby Keem? They bit off of how Playboy Cardi does his videos then to all the drill rappers in New York who do their videos. They bite in Playboy Cardi's videography. A
Oh,
lot of
okay.
people
I
taking his they're
point, but
taking his ad libs. They're taking a lot of his certain flow patterns from him, and they're doing a lot of play. I'm not going front. I said arguably. I don't want to say. Let me correct myself. Arguably, he's like top five most influential. I'm not even gonna hold you because
I'm gonna
he
keep.
has a big influence.
I don't know the brother's music like that. When I first heard his music, it sounded young thuggish, and then a little bit of futurish, and a little bit of ASAP Rocky-ish. So
Yeah,
that
he took influences from them. He took influences from them. I would
Hey,
say
Mad Max.
Young Thug and what's the other one you said? Rocky.
yeah,
Those
yeah, yeah.
probably
They was
those
out first.
probably
You're taking influence from people that was out first. So you took the influence, but what did he? Oh, like I can trace ASAP Rocky and his certain clams casino type of approach, and then see where that goes. I can see where Young Thug's ad libs where they go. I can see where Future's cadences where they go. But what did Playboy Cardi inject into all that?
the arcade video gaming and a lot of the videography that you see going on today. is Playboy Cardi. Like when you like when they got Yeet in the top five, that's solely off of Playboy Cardi influence. Because Yeet is just a basic clone of Playboy Cardi. He's literally a
Yep.
white boy version of Playboy Cardi. He's not doing anything different. Like he just takes that aesthetic. I seen Drake take some sauce from Cardi. I've seen Kendrick and Baby King. Baby King sounds like Playboy Cardi. He just Playboy Cardi with his cousin ghostwriting him for him, and they take a lot of his stuff too. So Playboy Cardi got people before him taking his a little bit of his sauce, and he got people after him taking a little bit of his sauce. That don't mean that he's like next level. I'm not gonna say he's like an all time great, but he is very influential. I'll give him that.
Hey, Mad Max,
Yeah,
let me ask you this: how mad are you that Ice Spice didn't make the list?
I don't even care.
Ain't that your girl?
but you know who did make the list?
That's my girl, but I don't really. That list is trash anyway.
You know who did make the list though? Soup.
I mean,
Lotto.
Lotto made the list, but the only song from Lotto people talk about right now is Big Mama. They won't talk about it in a year from now. She has no records. She's been on that show. She's been on that show from 10 years ago with J.I., the Prince of New York. No, she has no records. I'm sorry. Lotto's not like that. Ice Spice, I don't really care because the list is ass anyway, but they got number one right. They should have put Little Uzi way higher. There's no way Meg The Stallion is over Little Uzi. I'm sorry. What are Meg The Stallion standout records? She don't even have joints like that.
I don't know. Make the Stallion been out here for a while. I mean, again, I don't know these people's records like that. I listen to MCs and I don't listen to a lot of females like that. And when I do, it's like Rhapsody or something like that. So
Man,
I would say, Ice Spice though, she's like for the kids though, right? Like I mean, like little kids, right? She's not for like are adults listening to Ice Spice?
you mean 20-year-olds? Probably a little bit.
You know what? I look at this list from Complex, and the biggest tragedy of the list. I'll say it again. I'm continuing to use my platform, our platform, to say this. Pop Smoke would have been number one had he still been here. And shit, he still should be number one on the list, regardless. He was taken
Well,
too soon.
Pop Smoke. Listen,
He was
I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Pop Smoke, right, Ron? I remember when Pop Smoke came out. I remember when he came out. I remember there was this girl from UA. That's the school I went to, right, college. She always was playing Pop Smoke, right, on an Instagram story, and I'm like, yo, who the hell is this nigga? Right, I'm listening, like, yo, this nigga can't rap, but he's nice as shit. I'm looking at the name Pop Smoke. I'm checking out the records because he only had like 3 songs out. Like it's like real early before he like blew up. I'm like, yo, this
right.
he's gonna be next up. Like a month later, he blows up. And I remember telling people, yo, this guy low key the king of New York. And just remember all my mans like, oh, you gassing him, you necking him. Pause. Oh, he's not like that. Chef G is better than him. Sleepy Hollow's better than him. I'm like, yo, them niggas, I like Chef G. I like Sleepy. They're not better than Pop. Pop Smoke dies. All my fans is like, oh my God, we lost him. He was the king of NY. I'm looking at them niggas like,
You was
nah,
already on it.
when I said it, you was on me. You was meat munching me. But when they put a hole in him and they put him in the ground, now you want to act like he's all fired. Ah, beat it.
Crazy man, crazy man.
Really up on Pop Smoke like that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Maybe I mean if I seen when I seen the comparison to 50 Cent, and then I went to go listen to his music, 50 Cent is not what I got. Now if he is the started the whole drill thing, I'll give him that. But the
He got
whole
the
hit,
start.
I don't hear 50 Cent.
Papa took what they were doing in the UK and he brought it to New York and
Well,
he put
well,
his spin on
I,
it and made it
I'll
hot.
ex- I'll explain it, right? So for Leroy to understand, we know drill came from Chicago. The UK Pete Cats, they took that and mixed it with their own joint called Grind, and they
Right.
made the UK beat. Now there was other rap, like there was drill rappers in New York way before the UKB. Bobby Shmurda was a drill rapper, believe it or not, actually, and he came out before that got hot. But 22 G's was rapping there was a couple other rappers rapping on drill beats. But when Pop
Right.
Smoke got on the UK drill beats, it was like a totally different vibe. Pop Smoke is like
Okay.
50 Cent. But you have to listen to him if 50 Cent had Ja Rule's voice, which is kind of crazy. Which is crazy. It's kind of crazy
Well,
over like over with Travis Scott
okay.
isms. Like, it's kind of the auto tuning thing. He's almost like an auto tune version of 50
I can see
with a
that.
little bit of Ja Rule's vocals.
I can
But
see.
that's what Pop Smoke was. That's what blew him up. He had mad charisma. That's what
Hey, no,
really
no,
put him
no, no
over.
disrespect to Pop Smoke, but do you really look at him as like a rapper like that though? Like when I listen to him, I don't really listen to him like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't seem like his style was so different. It's like
You
I
put him
don't
in a
look at him as.
you put him in a future category.
I mean, I guess you can almost without the singing, but like I don't know. I mean, I can't really explain it. But when I listen to his music, it don't.
Yeah.
I don't look at them as like I mean, almost like you just was just saying, like 50 Cent or Ja Rule. I mean, I know what you mean by the voice thing, but he's so different and out there. He almost like in the category of his own as far as really like as far as being like a mainstream drill artist. Like because he pretty much the only one that has really been made it to the mainstream with a drill type of style, like really. So like I mean I don't know. It's like it's hard to compare a Pop Smoke to a traditional rapper.
Yeah, art by nobody said I'm not really on a lot of shit. You go back, you can see the type of music I'm on. You can, and
I
I'm
think
obviously not listening to the teenage. I'm not listening to teenage music like no. So yeah, I gotta ask questions about that because
I
when
th-
it came out, I was grown already, bro.
I think Pop Smoke to look, I think he is. I do compare him to rappers. Right? He's just like when I don't want to say these names because I hate when people compare certain names. But like when DMX came out, he was kind of his own thing. He was rapping, but he was kind of his own thing. Like Pop Smoke raps, he's just not a lyricist, but he has his own style, and he
Right.
did it very well over the drill beats. And those particular drill beats, they were very hypnotic, I would say. So it
Right.
worked for him.
You
So
talk
It worked.
New
It
York,
worked. And he had international appeal because I was following his wave. People were tapping in with Pop. 50 was tapping into Pop Smoke. He went over to London. I think Quavo was tapped into Pop. I think Travis Scott was too.
and the
And
thing with Pop Smoke, Ron, not to cut you off, is like you said, he had an international appeal. He single handedly took those drill beats, and I never heard like I when Pop after Pop Smoke died. That's when you started hearing like a game get on a drill beat like that. Not like he's one of the more influential dudes probably in the last like 10 years, and he'll probably be forgotten over time, but he single handedly brought that drill stuff into the forefront. There's no rapper before him or after him or during his time that
He
was
may be
that
the
impactful on
only
drill.
one. He may
Well, I'm
be
not
the
gonna say
only
he's the only
drill.
one
I
because
mean, he may
they
be
had Chief Keef.
yeah, but he may be the only drill rapper to actually cross over and like to actually cross over in that way
with
before
the
drill.
and it's a damn shame that he lost his life for. I think they bust down $1,500. He
I mean,
lost his life
yeah,
for $1,500. It's just a damn shame, man.
$1,500. So
1,500. When they took his jewelry and then they busted down for 1,500.
I mean, but
look,
you hear about Young Dolph. They did it for like $800.
eight
So I
hundred
mean, it is what
dollars.
it is.
Look,
$800.
when we're talking about the musicality of drill, right? I understand that drill it's its own thing, but there are other dimensions you can do with that drill. I need to hear somebody do something else. Now you could still make the standard drill, but before that there was dubstep. In the UK there was grime. There were different things you can do. There's EDM. I want to hear somebody do something creative with the drill. Do something that is creative. If it's just like if it's repetitive, I don't know, man.
I
You
mean,
know,
but we're in a very repetitive era. I just don't want to bring it. Like I say that because like
I got it.
drill is very repetitive.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of these guys who do their 2024 version of boom bap, their boom bap beats, sorry, very repetitive. I don't know. Like it's just
Rhyme though.
there's no ideas that are fresh in hip hop, and it hasn't
with,
been that way in a long time.
with the
Hey,
boom, you gotta have skills, or else the boom bap's not gonna sound right.
hey, breaking news, real quick, guys. This is from Mad Max here, all my New York cats. Your mayor just got banged up.
Banged up. What do you mean?
Just got charged with corruption.
Let's go. Get a
Yeah,
pack 'em up, yeah.
they
Pack
they
'em
kind of
up.
they kind of knew that was coming. I heard about that. Like, I guess they knew that was coming though.
Man, that's crazy.
I mean,
Pack
now,
'em
in
up.
in America, y'all. This is why I don't like to see us go at us. We have us hit a certain position, then people is coming. You thought you forgot you was in America. I'm not going to stand on the soapbox for too long, but I think we be forgetting that we're in America. Like you forgot, and I don't know what he did. Again, some people sometimes they deserve what they get, right? So I don't know what he did.
The way I look at it, I'm sure they all could be charged with something.
Yeah, like you
I
in
mean, you could
America,
definitely charge
right?
all of them or something.
You know.
Crazy. Anyway, breaking news. This is according to hip hop, not according to the politics. But I just wanted to bring that up
Nah,
anyway.
it matters, Ron, because he tried to ban hip hop music. Well, he tried to ban drill specifically, and I get it, but you know, drill has its issues. I'm not trying to deny that, but I get pissed off when like dudes from a certain era, they want to sit up there and act like once they turn 50, oh, this music is bad, but you're not willing to denounce the music you grew up on. Because I mean, hip hop's had bad content for over 30 years in the mainstream. If we really want to go there for the better part of 30 years, it's not just the young boys.
I would say in the era that we came from, yes, it was a lot of violent music. I think the characters were a little bit different. And I think that there was a lot of artistic license. Now and with the drill now it's like it has to be real. Like when you're recording it, it has to be a real situation. And I think that is working against the artists that do that because you're basically saying what you're going to be charged with.
No,
So
no, Leroy, I agree with you. I just don't. I hate when people fake act moral. It's like if you're gonna be moral, but don't do it like on some grandiose style. When people from an older generation come at the younger generation for the music, you better make sure your music didn't have that similar content. Because
yeah,
the difference between what you talking about, you went to artistic style. You basically talking about skill. I don't think nobody's gonna argue the skill. But when you start talking about content, younger kids. The issue that like a lot of young kids have is that when they get badgered like that, then they go back and they listen to the '90s rappers.
right.
They hear Biggie's music.
I get it.
I love DMX, but we not gonna act like he didn't have that one line. If you got a daughter older than 15, I mean, like
I get it. I get it.
like
Yeah,
you gotta be keep it to the artistry and the skill. Don't be bringing in content like you didn't like you not unless you about to denounce those other dudes.
I
Like
get
I see still here he denounces Biggie. That's fair. So he could talk all his stuff all he want, but you better be willing to do that before you start talking the morality police. Like that's just
he won't do
cringy.
he won't do the same with Tupac though. He'll act like every song Pac made was Dear Mama. Now again,
That's true too. That's true.
love pop, but again, there was context, and what I mean by that is like back in the day, if I listen to a Sebo's album, he's gonna drop 100 bodies, right? But he also has the political records. He also has the different type of records. So it was a little bit of a little bit of balance, So again, I'm not with trying to just judge the youngins like that. I just want to let them know that there's a range, right? If you got a bunch of songs, 10 songs. Every song doesn't have to be the same way. You could make a range of different stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you
You know?
talking about, but you
I
talking
won't.
like you talking about skill and artistry. I don't have a problem with that take. That's like accurate. They do sound the same. They do need to switch it up. They can talk about. I hear what that argument. I'm more so talking about
Content.
the content argument. When you go into the content bag, understand that is a
No,
bag that you better be prepared to get backlash on if A lot
Hey,
of your time period had bad content. That's just a fact.
no, I disagree with you, man, Max, when you say that because like Leroy was trying to say, I mean, at least they had the other side of of the music too. Like most of these guys that's just promoting bad stuff, they all they do is just make songs about doing bad shit. When Biggie talked about doing whatever, he still would have his "Sky's the Limit" or his songs where he talking about a specific topic, or even Tupac when he said this or that, he still did make a "Dear Mama," or like they show more versatility in just being ignorant all the time. I mean, even Master P, Wonder is there heaven for a gangster? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
songs that he would still make while still making the ignorant songs at the same time. Just that balance of like,
But I could say that for a
of
lot of. I could say that too for some of the younger cats. I heard Kodak Black songs. Kodak Black. I've heard a lot of his albums. He has introspective records. 21 Savage has made a little more introspection. I mean, people brag about J. Cole and Kendrick. They're there. I mean, it's not like it's that different. You talking about the quality, and we need to keep it there. We could.
I
I don't
mean,
think if you
not
keep it to quality, there's
not
no
not
issue.
even not even just the quality though, but it's just like the oversaturation of more negative music, just period. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like more.
And then I think some things are just natural too. Like I think Mad Max, the day you have some kids and then you see them listening to drill music, it's gonna raise some red flags. Like just naturally in your brain, like you're gonna be like, nah. And that I think a lot of us that have got older, that have when we start having children, them red flags start coming up. Like, hold on, like you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't be listening to drill like that. You know, let me put you onto something else. Like, I'm not gonna have you start being protective because that's your children. Like, and that's gonna happen to everybody. Like,
Now I hear that, but I also don't want to be the guy when I get kids that I was listening to Pop Smoke and they're listening to whoever they're listening to, and
right.
he's talking any type of degeneracy, and I'm badgering them, and they've heard me play Pop Smoke before, and I won't denounce Pop Smoke. That's my
No,
like
I'm
that's
not.
my problem.
I'm not. It's not even about denouncing for me at all. So I mean, I get what you're saying if you're saying that because I'm not gonna denounce no rapper for doing like whatever they're gonna do really anyway. I mean, like I understand like what they do other than like pushing other other negativity outside of just the music and just being ignorant on the rhyme. But I think that I don't. I think, like I said, it's a time and place for everything. Rap don't always have to be positive. It don't always have to be super ignorant, but it should be a place for everything, like on the mainstream level
I
and
think
on like.
though. I think the art should never be lost because when we talk about us as a people, we like some of the greatest artists on earth ever. Period. Like if you look at the history of hip hop and just the history of what we've already done, you're dealing with some of the most talented artists ever. So when we start losing the art form, that's dangerous for me. You know what I
But
mean?
I don't think these. I don't think it's been very many talented artists in a while. To be honest with you, like it's like
but
especially on the hip hop and rap side, there's not very many like extremely talented artists that, as far as being real true artists who have staying power and can make song or hit after hit, or
Right.
what I'm saying, in order to stay relevant in a hip hop sort of way, because like unless you get on and you make you a hit song, and then after you make your hit song, you start to get some type of core cult following. If you by that time you still dropping your second album, if you're not on the radio, you're gonna lose probably 75% of your fans, unless the makeup album is hot and you really develop a true core hardcore fan base. So I mean, it's hard for a rapper to really stay extremely relevant and to have the ability to be in the game long enough to where they can switch their style up or switch up their content. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you gotta have some
With
understanding with a lot of the younger rappers too. You know, so the
but
game is very
but
different.
but
all the
but
rappers in the game. The door is open. Artist development is available. All the rappers, all the labels. Just know There is people out there that can help you craft all different type of songs and can show you how to do it. Not taking away from skill you already have, but you know what I mean?
But what like super duper like even if you look at the space that we in, right? A lot of people in the chat they will talk about the drill music is kill music, but they turn around and I like these guys. I don't want to make it seem like I don't like these guys, but they go into the Griselda bag, and it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
you know,
they
like,
that's
but even
cognitive dissonance. Like you can't be
I
into
don't think that.
Griselda and hate drill unless you're
But do
talking
you
about
really,
skill.
Max? Do you really think Griselda is just like it's no reflection in their music? I think like they reflect all the time about the game and they talk about it, even though like they may be on more of the glorifying the streets, but they still talk about like the game in a more reflective reality type of bass rap, at least for rap wise, where it's like they're giving you the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying?
I,
It's not just
I hear you super duper, but like take a Pop Smoke, right? I've heard him make different records. It wasn't just all I kill my ops. I've heard him make a PTSD, a Brother Man, where it was or he wasn't that reflective, but he was kind of trying to be reflective. I heard him make the song he tried to flip some old R&B stuff, What You Know About Love and all those joints. I've heard Busy Banks is a drill rapper. I heard him talk about make a song for Hip Hop 50. I just don't think a lot of older cats are listening really. They might hear a certain couple amount of records and they
But
just like a certain
Matt,
aesthetic
Matt,
and then they will promote that aesthetic even if that person has equally bad I'm not saying
Matt,
Conway and Benny aren't reflective, but Conway and Benny, I'm just for the
but
vast majority they talking drugs.
Mad Max. The reason why, and again, this is not my takes. Are not all of them are going to be the popular take because I care more about real life than I care about being popular. That's my problem. Okay, but in real life, when I'm talking to 20-year-old somethings, the reason why I'm the old guy is because I'm gonna tell you not to crash out. Only because I don't think it's in your best interest to crash out. Now, the music that I'm hearing I think it works against hip hop. It works against your money first of all, because I hear a lot of artists talking about, well, I got to get the money, the money, the money. Well, it kind of works against your money if your content is a certain thing, because a lot of the phone calls you're not going to get are from people with a lot of money, but they're afraid to give you the call. So that's
I,
it's taking away from your money. Second, when you're crashing out in real life, in the real life ramifications, it doesn't help hip hop for all it's not helping, and that's just because I've survived certain eras, so I could advise the youth out. They may want to survive. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I'm just saying like there's a way to talk about it without
Yeah,
badgering the younger cats. I
no,
work with
I,
younger cats and a lot of them do feel like they get badgered. And I'll be like,
I know.
listen, because I put a couple of my younger cats. They say they big Kanye fans. I played them some Talib. They was rocking. I didn't tell them, oh, you got to. I wasn't an old head about it, even though they're not even that much younger than me. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's a way
I mean,
to talk to them.
I really don't think that I don't have a problem with what they like. Really, to be honest with you, for me, I think it's more of an industry thing and just more of an access to like options because it's just like what what you really see promoted on mainstream or like the hottest video on YouTube that's got the most views that's getting pushed through from suggested videos and
Yeah.
all these other things. I mean, for the most part, most of the stuff that's getting pushed is pretty much more negative. It's not enough mix up in the game or on radio. You turn on the radio, almost every song is the same subject matter unless it's a love song or somebody
I'm
singing.
not trying to sound like the old man here, but I think the music that's being made could be somewhat described as microwavable, right? It's indicative of the times that we're living
See,
in with social media, right? Because let me ask you this, Super Duper and Mad Max, 20 years from now, are people gonna be listening to these records like how we go back and listen to some of our OGs? Does this music have staying power that's gonna grow with you as you go older? So if you like in college now, in high school now, are you really gonna be listening to Yeet,
No.
Playboy Cardi, and some of this demonic music 20 years from now when you got a family? So what artists now can you say in 20 years time will age with the will grow with the people of the youth. You know what I'm saying? It's just this music is dark, it's satanic, it's drugged out, it's spaced out, it's emotional. It's just like the times we living in due to social media. So maybe we live in a
I think that's
Go ahead.
I think that's because they just like variety rhyme. Like that's what the industry is pushing. That's what the mainstream is pushing. That's what they really pushing. And so there's no room for variety for these kids, especially because they so trendy. They gonna follow the latest TikTok video. They gonna follow who their friends think is hot, or who the radio telling is hot, or who YouTube is telling that they're gonna follow
I
what
think
what what the mainstream push. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the avenues where they get this music from.
I also
So
don't think that on my fault, so we do it. I
one
also don't think that oh my bad, Leroy.
I think one thing that's lost is if we're talking about war, we're making war music, right? So even in a time of peace, there is also wars happening, and psychological war is a thing. Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because the people that are behind pushing certain songs, they know what they're doing. Because if they push Talib Kweli and Black Thought and certain kind of artists, then test scores will go up. Then people will be black folks will youth will be acting a little different. They'll be more articulate in how they move, but they're gonna play. They're gonna give you something that's more destructive because they're gonna play warfare on the thing of, well, I didn't do it. I just sold the song, and that's what the label's gonna tell I just sold the song, so I didn't kill these people, but they know that the psychological ramifications lead to physical. Every war first starts in the mind first. So I think we need to know that, though. We need to know that as a culture, that these things that we're hearing are not coming from us. They're coming from upstairs, the corporate office, and the people up in the corporate office, 99% of them are not us. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think
I
we need to know that.
I hear that, but
I
I just think also when you look at what the industry push, and this is you got to know like a lot of like younger cats, they're not really listening to a lot of these artists that the industry push like that. They like their songs, and like Super Duper was saying earlier, they listen to their local stuff. I don't think I don't like no Playboy Cardi gets a lot of burn, but I don't think that many black kids is running around bumping Yeet like that. They might like a couple Yeet joints, but I don't think they really pushing Yeet. I don't think they really like these guys
But
full
it,
catalog. They like they pick their songs they like and they keep it pushing. So
it's part of the atmosphere, though. It's part of the atmosphere in our neighborhoods. So when these soundtracks are being played and we bump into each other and we've had a bad day, we don't have much money in our pocket. One dude, and it's going to lead to things because that atmosphere has already been set. And we gotta start like knowing that. Like I don't want to be the preachy guy. Like I really don't. But I'm just saying we gotta start knowing certain atmospheres are being set, and we already hot because we already economically are in a place to where the first sign of disrespect we letting it fly. Period. So
yeah,
we already hot like that.
but we already been letting this happen for over 30 years. Like when Dr. Dre was coming with the NWA stuff, I'm pretty sure that was not just a thing to
Yeah,
just represent their hood. You know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
I think there was somebody pushing that.
So we
So
learn.
it's
That's why I
been
be on the females too. I be on the females hard. Like, yo, y'all saw what the men went through. So why are y'all copying the old blueprint when you saw it didn't work out for us? So
hey,
hey,
speaking on this topic, it was something that y'all we said earlier. I can't remember exactly who said it, but I mean, I'm changing the subject, but I just want to ask y'all this before we get out of here. And
yeah.
Now
say
you
your
can't run
honest.
from it. Well, you can't run from the smoke. I got some other smoke to give you, Super Duper. Don't run from the
Oh,
smoke. But go ahead and make your point.
hey, well, go ahead and give me the smoke real quick now, man, because I want to hear everybody's opinion on this
Now
that I'm gonna
I
bring
want
up.
you to finish your thought, but I'm gonna give you a preview of the
Okay,
smoke. I gotta give you some smoke. I'll put it on the screen. I'm about to give you the smoke in a
oh
minute, though.
God.
I'm about to give you the smoke in a minute. But go ahead,
what I
Super
say
Duper.
what I say
Let,
about Josh Allen?
You said he was overrated. You said he was
He said
overrated.
the
I didn't
same
say
thing
that. I
about
said
Joe
no.
Burrow.
I said that about Joe Burrow, not Josh Allen.
Oh, okay, my bad, Super Duper. I thought you said he was overrated. Mad Max, you
I
must have
No.
said
said
he was
that.
overrated.
I said that about Josh Allen,
Okay, well, go ahead,
and then
Super
I
Duper.
drafted him in fantasy.
Go ahead, Super Duper. I'll cook Mad Max. Go ahead, Super Duper.
I can. What? Honestly,
Yeah.
has there been anything even close to a classic that has dropped this year so far, or
No,
anything that's even really like less than mid? What?
well, I don't.
What's? I mean,
Well,
right now, honesty. Let's just be honest. Right now, honesty. What album is truly fire right now that came out to this day that you can really just say that you done went back and you still like you really think it's a fire album that's came out this year?
The
I think this.
auditorium.
I think this year has some songs. I don't know if it had an album.
The
think
auditorium.
I think the
He
OGs are doing what they're supposed to do. So all the OGs from LS
MC
to
Light.
Master Ace to Blue, I think all the elder statesmen are aside from Ghost. Sorry, Ghost, I need you to cook again. But I think the OGs are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know,
Yeah, Super Duper. There's a couple joints that came out this year. You got the MC Light that just came out. I listened to that a couple times. You got the auditorium, Common and Pete Rock. You
I
I
got
mean,
don't think the
I'm just
auditorium
saying,
was
man.
all
Like,
that.
are you saying you think anything that's came out so far? Anything a classic to you, Ron?
classic. No, that's still. I mean, classic. It takes
Or
time to
even
marinate. It
that
takes.
may have even a possibility of being a classic. I mean, you know, if something a classic or something right now about all this time that they came out. Like, if you really thought that Common and Pete Rock was a classic, you'll be saying it right now. Like, yeah, I think it's a classic.
It's not a classic, but it's a solid dope album. So nothing's come out this year that's been a classic. No.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of that album. I thought it was kind of boring. Um, I overreacted to to the Killer Mike album. But honestly, I didn't know some of those songs were remakes though, so I was overreacting. But I do like the production, and it's still the album that I revisit some of the songs on there. But for
yeah,
me, so far, the album that I've revisited the most, I would say, is the Rock Marcy album.
okay.
But other than that, I mean, like, I ain't been impressed, man. I can't lie, man. Like, overly impressed to like with songs or albums that I love, like front to back. I like Currency's last album, but I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
I can't really.
I think now you got a week. That's your moment to shine. I think all them days where we're playing albums for years, I think that's been gone.
I mean,
I,
not even saying for years though, Leroy. I'm just saying like for like you know it's so fire that you want to hear it the next day and you want to hear it again without forcing yourself to like study it and listen to it. Like
Don't you
where it's
worry.
really.
Don't you worry, Super Duper. The man on the screen is about to drop any day now. Any day
Oh,
now.
I
stop
think
with the cold gas. I heard y'all
Any day
gassing
now.
cold, man.
Any day.
Stop
Any day.
it.
Let me get these super chats real quick. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says Eric I. Adams indicted sounds very presidential to me. Don't know what you mean by that, Jermaine Johnson, but appreciate you showing love.
hey,
Lord,
Samurai from Lupe. I think Lupe did what he was supposed to do. I think Master Ace did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? But I think the era of you just having a classic that you're gonna keep going back to, I think that's been gone. I
Lord
think
Bashar with the super chat says no album was good enough to qualify as album of the year this year.
I
That
think it's been a year of just mid albums, man. I mean, the Lupe was mid, the Benny album was mid, like everything just been a nice lukewarm microwave dinner. You know what I'm saying?
You, you, you
It's
know
been
you
cool.
you know what else was mid super duper and they been gassing it? That Jermaine Cole verse. All right,
Yeah, they
that
are. They gassing that.
they gassing it. It was better than that Kendrick
ain't
song though.
nobody
It was given
gassing that.
that.
Ain't nobody gassing that. Ain't
Gosh,
nobody gassing that.
gosh.
But the Future
Man, that
Metro albums wasn't like that. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
we got to use the same energy y'all had for Kendrick when that song dropped. I mean, if this is J. Cole's coming out party, like y'all was saying about Kendrick, like why y'all was mad that he didn't make a more upbeat. I don't know. I don't know what y'all was so mad about the song. I mean, he chose the
Well,
song, and I mean,
Leroy wasn't doing that. I would say that was more me, but I'm on the side of the J Cole song is mid anyway. So
but
so you
I
can
think
keep cooking.
J. Cole J. Cole moves to the sound of his own drum, y'all. So I don't think he's gonna make something that you or we want. I think he's gonna continue to always make what he wants. That was one reason why I didn't listen to a lot of his album. He knows I'm a boom bap. He don't know me personally, but he knows I'm a boom bap head. There's a crowd out here and he went sideways and went another way. So I didn't even listen. So I just say that to say I think Cole's gonna always do what he wants to do. But the point that I do like is I think that now he realizes there are things bigger than being hot. There are things bigger than being in a battle. There are things that are more important than being hot.
Hey, but the last thing I don't want to hear I don't want to hear J. Cole crying either. Like coming back and trying to.
He ain't crying. He ain't crying. He says the reign is obsolete. Jermaine is out to be celebrated, paraded out in the streets for days, if not for weeks, for bringing us the bleakest bumping pit. My words is slick and turn. It's my turn to kick. I apply pressure like I'm trained to stop the beat. How vain is my belief to say I could be the greatest y'all done seen with the cadence proper the days I laid across the street.
You might try to hit that, Ron.
He's spitting.
No, but Ron, here's my problem with J. Cole's song, right? This is my problem with the song.
Is he not spitting, Mad Max? Is he not spitting?
No, the verse is cool. The verse has some bars in it. But this is my issue with the J. Cole song. One, what's the difference between that verse and the Pie verse? What's the difference? Same cadence, same flow, the same exact thing. We want to talk about being repetitive. He's basically being repetitive in that song. Second, what does J. Cole's verse have to do with the song title? You talk about a plate of collard greens, and this is right here is what I critique my generation on. You guys don't make songs that match the song title. See, if this was Nas, a real GOAT, you know what I mean, and he had a plate of collard greens, he would have been flipping it to like a memory.
He's feeding your soul, and it's a plate of collard greens is a soul food delicacy.
Stop it, Ron. Because if this was Nas would have gave you a whole story about he had his first plate of collard green back in 90. Oh, no, Nas is a little older than that. So about back in like 80 something, and his papa came home, played something on the blues, and he was going to talk about what the crackheads was doing across the corner, and then bring it back to the black community as a whole, and then he would have told you about the plate of collard greens that way. J. Cole just rapping a bunch of words. Cut it out.
I don't want him coming back trying to rapping like Bob Marley or something right now. I don't want to hear that right now.
Let me get the super chat real quick before I educate you guys on what's about to happen. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat. To Leroy's point, the sugary high fructose cereal is stocked at the front of the grocery aisle. It's cheap and it's bad for you, but the stores don't care. Good point. But y'all need to be patient. I mean, y'all was sitting here calling a couple weeks ago, especially you, Super Duper, trying to tell me that this I forgot the name of the song. The Watch the Party Die was like that. And this man is I just laid the verse out for you guys.
I'm not saying that it's really just like that. No, but you can read the lyrics to the Kendrick song too. I mean, like I said, I don't think the song is like it has no replay value.
They both whack songs. Come on.
I do think that Kendrick's mic performance was better. I think his verse was better. I think the song is better than that song. I think Watch the Party Die is better than that song.
When albums came out back in the day, the only discussions we had was with our circle of friends. Now, when an album comes out in less than 24 hours, you are going to hear 10 different perspectives from all the YouTube streets, so this is your album is getting ripped apart. In 24 hours, whether it's good, whether it's classic, whether it's bad, no matter what, your record is getting ripped apart. We're just in a different era.
Chris Hogan joined the line. What's going on, brother? What's on your mind tonight?
What's going on, guys, man? I'm listening to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I understand everybody's perspective, you know what I'm saying, of what they're saying. But I do feel like we do rush a lot of times. We listen to music just to critique it. We don't really listen to it and sit with it for a week. Like, we haven't even sat with this J. Cole or the Kendrick record for like 2 weeks, and people already said, oh, it's whack or it's fire. You know what I'm saying? You not sit with the record. Back in the day, I'm 37, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm my music more into the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying, late 90s. You know what I'm saying? We used to sit with albums. Sometimes, like, people used to put me on albums that I ain't hear for like 2-3 months. Like, you heard that new DMX album? I'm like, damn, I'm listening to so-and-so album. So I didn't hear an album for like 2 months, but then I sat with the album for like 2 months, and you just playing it over and over again. And then you songs that you didn't like before, you start liking. Like, damn, I like this song now. Now it's just like we just critique albums right off the gate, and that's I get it. You know, everybody got a platform that you know what I'm saying they gotta make their money off of. Or, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I feel like we do need to sit with an album for like or a song for like 2 weeks before we critique it so vividly. Like you know what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't it's whack, or I didn't like this line. I didn't like sit with it. You know what I'm saying? You might need to bump it in your car. You know what I'm saying? Bump it while you working out or something, and then see, you know what I'm saying, what you like about it or you don't like about it.
Yeah, that's a
No,
good point.
I,
That's a
I,
good
I,
point.
I I totally agree with when you say that too. I do. I don't think neither one of the songs are bad either. I think that they both. I mean, I understand the message in both of the songs. The songs. I mean, they might have not been the comeback. It might not be the comeback that I wanted from J. Cole because I'm down on him right now. And same thing with Kendrick. I mean, it's not the comeback that I wanted from him when we was anticipating like an album song or something like just maybe a
And
little bit more up tempo or just better. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. So I mean, for J. Cole to be gone, and this is the first time I didn't heard of him since the apology. I mean,
it's
I'm
not.
not like,
He had a verse though. He had a verse though, super on Metro and Futures joint.
oh yeah,
Um,
I remember that too.
He had the
Yeah,
whack ass Grippies feature too. Don't forget that.
Cash Cobain,
Grippy.
and then he had the song with ASAP Rocky. So this is one, the song, his best feature since the beef was the one with Metro and Future. That verse on there was dope. And I think this might be his second best performance. But what Christopher Hogan is saying, we gotta be patient. I think the fall off is gonna come, and I think it's gonna be a dope project. So that's what I'm holding out for. Trader Truth already said it's gonna be something that we're gonna be talking about for a very long time. I think he sat with the record. He's heard the record, and we just got to be patient, man. So
Do we trust Trader Truth? That's
I don't know.
Cole's man's. Like, I'm sorry. Do we trust him?
We
I
gonna
don't
find,
know.
man. We gonna find out when the record come. I'm hoping that it's fire. If it's not, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it 100. But I'm hoping it's fire, legendary. So
No doubt.
Another thing we gotta like, not to cut you off, Ron, but like another thing we gotta like understand is like these artists like Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, and these superstar artists, they make music for different to feed different demographics. So if J. Cole make a song like Grippy or Drake make a pop song, and us as hip hop heads, we like to judge it like, oh, this song is trash. Well, he didn't make that song specifically for our demographic. You know what I'm saying? He made the song for a specific, particular people. So if he might have 100 millions of fans that love that song. We don't like it, but he didn't make that song for us. You know what I'm saying? Different strokes for different folks. And I feel like J. Cole and all those artists, they know when to feed their base. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole know when to get lyrical. He know when to I can get on this pop song and I can start playing with the flow and everything like that. I know when I can get on this R&B joint and you know what I'm saying, I can do my thing on it. It's like they gotta feed so many different, because this is a business, so they gotta feed so many different demographics
yeah,
that you know what I'm saying. They just can't get a hip hop head in us. We want straight bars, we want straight flows, we want straight, what I'm saying, nice beats and everything. But sometimes they have to feed their fan bases, and they know their fan bases better than we do. So you know what I'm saying, they gotta feed different people.
No
That's a
doubt,
good
no
point.
doubt. That's a good point. That's a good point, Chris Hogan. But before we get out of here, I gotta pivot real quick. So Leroy, bear with me. I gotta pivot real quick before we have my closing thoughts. I'll be very short with this. So week 4 of the NFL this week, tomorrow night, we got my Cowboys versus the Giants. I got the Cowboys winning that. Saints at Falcons. Man, I might roll down to the game for that one. I'm going to go Falcons. I think Falcons need this win desperately. They kind of choked
I'll
off the
take the
Kansas City
Saints on
game.
that.
Yeah, the
Kansas
Saints winning that.
Saints didn't look good last week against the Eagles. I think the Falcons at home desperately need this win.
Bengals need to win.
They need to win. I got Bengals beating the Panthers, even though Andy Dalton looked good. I got Rams over Bears. I got
Okay.
Vikings and Green Bay. I'm gonna go.
Go
I think
Vikings, Ron. I don't
I
think Green Bay has their quarterback back.
I think they're playing in Lambeau Field. I think I'm gonna go Vikings on this one. I hate
Jordan Love's supposed to play.
Is
Yeah.
he? Wait, wait, I take that back.
Jaguars and Texans. I must say the
That's the
Jaguars.
Texans.
Jaguars got their back. If I'm putting money on it, Jaguars got their back against the wall. I'm gonna go with them. And when you got your back against the wall in the NFL, you're a dangerous team. I'm going It's a pride game. I'm taking Jacksonville. Steelers and Colts. I think the Steelers are due for a loss. I'm going Colts. Broncos at Jets. I'm taking Jets. Eagles at Bucks. I'm taking the Eagles. Washington against. I like Jaden Daniels. I think Washington will beats. No, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals because they're playing at home, and I think Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are gonna link up. San Francisco is gonna win this game against the Patriots. I got the if Justin Herbert plays, I'm going with the Chargers with an upset against Kansas City. I got Browns over Raiders, and the Sunday night. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. Bills versus Ravens. Bills versus Ravens.
You know who you got. We know who you got.
I'm going Bills, and then the Titans and Dolphins. I'm going Titans, and I'm going what's this? Detroit over Seattle. I'm gonna go Seattle.
Over Detroit?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seattle.
You going with the upsets this week, huh?
I'm going with the upsets. I'm
not gonna lie, Detroit does too many trickery for me. They do a lot of the gambling on offense. So
I disagree. I disagree with you about the Saints and Falcons. I know that's your home team.
Okay, so everything else you rock with?
Yeah, you had a good list. I mean, I don't know about that Texans and Jaguars game, but
I was gonna. That was another one. I don't agree with you about the Texans, and I don't agree with you about the Steelers either.
Okay, we'll see. Those are my picks. If y'all want to win some money, don't get mad at me if you lose your money. But those are my picks. And MVP watch, you know what it is. Josh Allen gonna show y'all what it is Sunday night against Lamar Jackson. We're gonna see who the real MVP is.
Well, Josh Allen is the MVP so far, so I mean, I can't front on the kid. He's helping me in fantasy.
No doubt. So those are my NFL picks for the week, and me and Super Duper will probably get into it more next week. So closing thoughts for the night, guys. Max starts with you. What's your closing thought for the night?
You know what? I'm gonna get on that Fabolous and Black Thought thing because y'all said was talking about that. I agree for the most part. Black Thought is probably ranked over Fab. I play Fab more than I play Black Thought. My issue with Black Thought though, because I think he's super overrated. No disrespect, he is not memorable to me. I think the Roots work was cool. I'm not gonna say it wasn't great. It was very good, but to me they're not even a top 5 group. So I don't agree with. I think Leroy said that if you include the Roots work, Black Thought is like arguably like top 15. I don't think that work is good enough for him to be even compared to Ghostface. I mean, respectfully, Ghostface got supreme clientele. Respectfully, I mean.
Okay.
We were just talking on a lyrical basis, though, just lyrically.
A lot of stuff, Mad Max. There's a lot of stuff you don't like. So I
mean, that's true. I don't like a lot. But Black Thought just never did it for me. He never had. I like quotables. So I think Prodigy's way better than Black Thought. So like,
I mean, like I said, I like Prodigy better. Prodigy is another one that's in my personal top 5. But would I say that bar for bar that Prodigy is more lyrical? If we're just going off of a lyrical conversation, I wouldn't say that Prodigy is more lyrical than Black Thought.
I mean, I hear that.
That's all we were saying about Fab too. Or whoever we were comparing them to. I mean, even Common. I mean, I think that Black Thought is more lyrical than Common.
I mean, I hear that.
Okay, I think Common. I think sometimes you got to read Common's bars. Now, not us, because we're strictly hip hop heads. I think if someone who's not a hip hop head were to look at Common's lyrics and just read them, I think it hits different than anything they've read. But
Common is nice though. Common has a lot of wit.
Reading it reads. Now I'm not sitting there reading Common's lyrics, but it's very of a poetic nature that you don't really find.
It's poetry with some, wit. It's like almost if you take certain poetic stuff from Nas and then you add a touch of like some of Hove's wit mixed in. It's not. I'm not gonna say he's Hove and Nas combined, but it's something like I get what you mean with Common.
Right.
I mean, we do got to keep it real about Black Thought though, too. Honestly, his
Yeah.
flow is super nice. Like he got a super nice flow. You know what I'm saying? He got a
Great
nice
flow,
voice. He don't
nice
rhyme too
voice.
fast, too slow. You know what I'm saying? You can hear him. He might not have like super quotables, but his his flow pattern really don't give you enough time to rest on a lot of things he said because he just keep them coming. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's very underrated as far as like his
Quarter.
bar work
Yeah.
and his lyrics or even his metaphors and stuff like that because of the way his flow pattern is, how he just keep his rhymes coming like so
Yeah.
quick that they don't really get the chance to rest on you like that.
A lot of
That's fair.
quotables take a pause. After you say the line, pause, then go to the next. That pause makes it the quotable because that space gives the people to catch it. Oh, I just caught it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
That's
I mean,
true.
only thing I'm gonna let y'all cook. The only thing I was gonna end off on is because every week I be bringing up something new that I don't think people heard. Because Consequences coming out with a new record. I'm not saying everybody gotta like him, but if you like that Kanye-esque type of beat picking and kind of witty, conversational, humorous flow, go back to the Movies on Demand. Go back to Consequence material, and you may find some common ground between him and Kanye. You know what I mean? They came up together musically.
Yeah. Well, my closing words is it's hoodie weather, man. It's hoodie weather upon us over here where I am. So you know what I'm saying. Every time this season come around, I get into my East Coast bag. So I'm
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
listening to a lot of Mobb Deep,
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
Prodigy, a lot of AZ, a lot of Nas. You know what I'm saying? I might even sprinkle some Jay-Z in there, even though I'm not too much of a big fan of his music no more. But
The
yeah,
GOAT.
it's hoodie season, man. So shout out to the East Coast. It's y'all time, man. At least for me, this is when I love to hear my East Coast, my Wu-Tang, my Ghostface Killer when it's hoodie weather. So
Your
Yes,
boot camp,
sir.
your boot camp click, your gang star. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Smith and Wesson. You know what I'm saying? We
Favorite
want
season.
some Onyx, some Locks. It's definitely that time of year right now.
I
Yeah.
no
definitely
doubt,
like
no
listening
doubt.
to Nas and AZ around this time. That's a fact. I do like listening to them around this
Yeah,
time.
when fall come and it's that hoodie season.
No
Yep.
doubt, no doubt. Leroy Green, closing thoughts for the night, brother.
No, that's it. Just everybody go listen to some good music, man. We had dope dialogue together. I want to see more of the legends keep coming outside. That's all. Legends been coming outside all year. Keep it coming. You know
No
what I mean?
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I want everybody here to like and subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Once we get to 100,000 subscribers, our sponsor will give us the big first annual According to Hip Hop conference and festival where we'll have some of these people that we talk about actually come and perform. We'll have panels about economics and health and all types of different things. It'll be a big hip hop festival according to you. But we need you to hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Our numbers today were a little bit low on Wednesday for viewership. Y'all said y'all wanted the Wednesday shows back. We brought you the Wednesday shows. If y'all don't want the Wednesday shows, we'll stick to Monday and Saturday. But hey, it is what it is, man. But hit like and subscribe. Rock with us as always.
And
Leave a comment.
they've been doing something though too, because I haven't been getting like the the alerts and the notifications. So I don't know what's going on, but I usually I'd be surprised when I catch y'all. I haven't been getting no alerts. So
Right. So we probably getting shadow banned. Some people sometimes there's other people, who I won't name may go in and may file a complaint and they'll put us on a kind of shadow ban or whatever to block our feed. But that's hater talk. That's hater stuff. But we're gonna rise above that. But make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon, get notified when we pop on. We got more shows coming. We got some big things coming down the pipeline. And we just need to rock with us, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I was saying before the show off air to Ron, once this era is gone, it's gone. So if there's anything that the fans of hip hop want to do, I'm in it for real for the long haul. we don't have to, if we want to do events, if we want to meet up somewhere and have concerts and have like, let's just do it. Because again, once this era is gone, it's gone. So if we going to do some legendary stuff, let's just do it. And I'm down for the long haul to do it. And you know, it don't matter if it's people or a little bit.
I just think that, you know, it's too time for us to start to keep it real too, even about what you just said, man. I mean, is it really even a real future for hip hop the way that the industry is though right now? I mean,
It's
is
not
it
looking
really?
like it. It's not looking like it. It's not looking.
It
Look at
don't
the
look like it. I
teenage
mean,
years.
like I was saying earlier, people keep saying that hip hop is a young man's game, but where are the young people making any impact right now? That's. I mean, like I hate to even go back to a Nas, but you know, where's the 16-year-old phenom right now? Where's the 17-year-old, 18-year-old prospect at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are they? And where? And
Yeah.
if they are out there, right? If it is somebody out there, does the industry even want them? Do they even want them to even come? I mean, I'm sure that the industry, you know, they done ran out of tricks when it comes down to how they want to do it, or they didn't put themselves in a bad deal. It seemed like the industry took a bad deal from itself. So now they got everything locked down. Radio don't have no freedom to put other artists on unless they get permission from some industry or some record executive to be able to break a new artist properly, unless they just hear them somewhere in the club. And then, like I said, most likely if you hear them on the radio, other than some type of local radio station that's just
Yeah.
has
I
30
mean,
minutes of playing that local artist, most likely you ain't gonna never hear from them dudes.
Yeah.
So
So when we're out here for the people watching and me included, and when we're out here and we see that young dude that has the potential to be what we're talking about, support that young man. You know what I mean? In any way, like they're out there. I believe they're out there. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I think I just don't think that it's no real true future in like trying to make music the way that they trying to sell it. It's no profit in it the way they can't profit off of it.
Yeah.
People
No.
don't. It's a microwave culture, so you get your music and like you know, like we were saying earlier. I mean, the way that we even consume music is so crazy. I mean, like we don't get to sit down with a record for a month or two anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like the records don't mean nothing to us. It's just like watching a short on Instagram or a short on Facebook or you know YouTube or something like that. It's not it's a momentary thing.
I'm
You know what
I'm
I'm
a
saying? Like
I'm gonna figure it out to I'm here.
I don't think the industry want hip hop to to continue to be dependent on like this.
I
You know what I'm
could
saying? Like I think that they want some type of new other um music genre to control and set up these new rules so they can figure out how to make some damn money because as of
yeah.
right now, I mean I don't think they you know they back themselves in the corner. They done bought all the radio stations. They done paid off all the DJs. And it's still not working to get to get the results they want. So now they back themselves into a corner and they really don't know what to do except for burn it down.
But we keep looking for them though, and I'm saying the control is in our own pockets on our own phones, and I'm here for it. I'm here to figure it out. I could have been having this conversation with Beanie Siegel right now, but I chose to have this conversation with y'all because I'm that serious about it.
Really,
So
really, what I'm saying is too, like not to cut you off. I just want you not just so you totally understand what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think that the industry is done with hip hop as a genre. So
Okay.
like yeah, it's still gonna be hip hop artists out there, and there's still gonna be a lot of mainstream people. I mean, not mainstream, but underground artists that get a lot of local support, or like I said, like how the game is now, where you know a lot of like if you go around the country right now, most people are listening to some, especially young people. They listen to the hottest artists in their area or in their vicinity. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not like they really paying attention to super mainstream people like that anyway, unless they already been liking them since they were younger or something like that. But
No
for the most part, I mean, the industry is done. I think the industry is done with hip hop as a genre. I think that
no
they look at it like it's hit its ceiling.
no matter where you run, whatever music you run to, it's gonna have to have a hip hop aesthetic to work because that's how embedded hip hop is in America now. So if you want to make R&B, it got to have a hip hop aesthetic. If you want to make pop, It gotta have a hip hop aesthetic. If you want to make whatever you think you're gonna make, it gotta have a hip hop aesthetic, or else it's not gonna fly.
No,
You know what I'm
I agree with that. I agree with that. But like rap, as far as what we know it, and why we keep on trying to compare these guys to Nas's and to
saying?
Jay's, and
Yeah, no,
I think like it's never gonna be like that ever again. Like it's
that's
like the
not.
game is, and it's not fair. For one, it's not fair to Jay and Nas to compare like a Drake to them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But the industry is it's never gonna be the same. And it's never going back to what we liked from rap. You know what I'm saying? So we might as well say, man, when you can see the writings on the wall, man. The youth are not taking over hip hop.
right. But before we give our youth up to them, I think we should take our own youth back. Before as a culture, I'm talking to us as a people. Before we hand our children off just to them to see what they gonna do in entertainment, I think we need to step in and grab a
They
hold of.
gone. See, Leroy, they gone, man. They gone. IG got them. Facebook got them. Snapchat got them. TikTok got them.
We
They
The iPhone got them. You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation got them. I mean, we ain't gonna be able to get them, man, because they gone, man.
I'm going for them. I'm going for the youth. I'm going to get the youth back for hip hop culture. I'm going out there
I
to
mean,
get.
you're not gonna be able to get them. The youth, it's gonna take somebody else young to get them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be you. They're not gonna listen to me or you. You know what I mean? Like, but it's gonna have to be some young, new, hot inspiration that come out somewhere out the blue. If that's like we need the prodigal son. You know what I'm saying, of hip hop, and that's what Kendrick Lamar was basically saying that he is not. You know what I'm saying, when he was saying this. But yeah, it do need to be somebody that, if it's going to be somebody that, like, at least for them to bring back the essence of hip hop or the essence of rap or the essence of the game. But I mean, at the same time, really, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get when we try to say when we talk about what rap is or what it should be, but it's a time and place for everything. I think the rap game got to have some time, but I don't think that the industry is interested in like not
What
pushing not pushing what they want. Now, hip hop used to be driven by the youth and really by like what the artist wanted to do and the artist being the artist and like right now half the rappers they didn't look alike. They doing something like they similar with the styles that they have. They stepping on each other's toes so much that
Yeah, what you're asking for, it can't be created. Like we can't go out and create that. No, and a label can't create that, or no one can create that. What we're looking for is a situation creates that person. So the situation must make itself real, and then the person living the situation becomes the reality. So you cannot create a Nas. You can't. A label can't create a Nas. A label can't create a Jay-Z. A life situation has to create them. You know what I mean? So, but I believe that'll happen. The industry can't create a Pac or a Common, or life itself has to create those people. You know what I mean?
I really think that before the industry will create something that we will respect, they will create something that we totally hate.
Yeah, of course.
That's actually working. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they more likely to create somebody that's gonna influence the culture a lot worse. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I don't want to get too political or get too preachy, but you know
I know.
how like a lot of these guys they seem like they in the front running to be the head demon in charge. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or to be to be like to show and prove that they out to sell their soul. They ready to do whatever they got to do to be
They ready,
on. But
they ready to
when if they do become super popular and they do become that one, like they more, I think the game is more likely to push them
Right.
than to even let a Kendrick Lamar take over the game. And even for Kendrick Lamar, I mean, we keep thinking that Kendrick Lamar is some young ass kid. The man, like 37, 38 years old.
Right.
He's a grown ass man. So it's not like Kendrick Lamar can't be the future of rap either.
Right, right. Well, on that note, we appreciate everything that the people have tapped in with us tonight. Y'all tune in us on Saturday. We're gonna cook up with y'all. The Georgia and Alabama game. I might go to Alabama to go see that game. So I might be remote. I might be that the weekend rhyme may look a little different. It might be from the streets of Tuscaloosa on the back of a pickup truck.
Run it.
I'm my phone,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have some. I'm gonna be in enemy territory, but it's all good. So, but I appreciate everybody tapping in. Hit like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's get us to 100,000 subscribers. Super duper. I appreciate you, brother. Leroy Green, as always. And this is the Weekday and Rhyme. Peace.
Peace, fellas. Peace.
Yes, sir. Fire.